The following podcast contains potentially tough subject matter, controversial topics, and/or strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes.
Shut up and sit down.
It's only the fourth time I've heard that this week.
Hello, and welcome to number 16. I always get the number wrong. 16 of Knights of the Wrong Table. I am un petit papillon, a small butterfly.
I'm not in the right mind for this.
I am
Great
Percival or Nathaniel.
I'm Sir Boars eating a breadstick.
Singular stick of bread.
That sounds like a Cartoons Humanity card.
What
Sir
makes-
Boar is eating a breadstick.
What makes me Galahad / Austin, depending on the day.
It is
He has multiple personality
Jeremiah,
disorders.
the wizard.
I
Merlin the Wizard.
You totally missed your event, by the way.
Merlin.
Oh yeah, this week or the week that we're recording this was the
City, mischief and magic.
Wait,
Harry
what
Potter event thing in downtown Stanton.
Dang it, I did.
Or Staunton, if you're not from here and you're
It's
an
Stanton.
idiot.
Stop.
It's like it's Greenville. No, it's Greenville.
I mean, even the GPS says it wrong.
Green vial.
Greenville. Well, hello and welcome.
Hi. So
Don't yell,
I'm
please.
sorry. I'm sorry.
It's not that bad. Like it looks fine. But
No, but it's annoying to me. I'm already
right.
annoyed tonight.
So I am on a lot of painkillers right now. So I was mowing the grass. Oh yeah, okay, so can I talk?
No, you're not.
No, you can't talk.
Fucking go
Okay.
for it. I don't care.
By the way,
That's the whole
okay,
point
no.
of this. No, we're gonna sit here in front of mics and sit silent.
All right, so I'm on a lot of painkillers. And I was riding the lawnmower and like
Yeah, you were.
and
Was it a
like
green
okay. And
Big
so
green tractor.
Yeah, big green tractor.
no, it was red and it was like medium size,
Do
I
you,
guess.
do you think your tractor's sexy?
Really turns her on.
I mean, does it?
I mean,
I mean,
you have
does it
to
turn her
ask
on?
her. So,
I just realized that
Dude.
I was making the stankest face. I don't know why, but I just found myself in this scowl, and I was like, "Shit, I need to fix that." Sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
and so I
It's like the
so I
state
was
of my
mowing the
life right
grass
now.
and I like drove into a huge
Hornet's Hest.
Hornet's nest,
Hornet's Nest.
a hornet's nest, and like
I told you how to undo it. You obviously didn't listen to me.
so like, mom gave me some like hydro.
It wasn't Oxycontin.
Like mom got me some meth. And
No.
like,
What? No. No.
Technically,
Okay,
they
heroin.
They all are based
No, it
off
wasn't heroin.
meth.
It's
they're amphetamines.
okay,
hydrocodone
so anyway, so I'm not staying on the podcast long.
on painkillers. Yeah,
Um,
he's rough.
And so I thought I'd just like tell so I got okay. So have you ever been stung 6 times on the back of the dome,
I
Chrome?
thought it was 40 billion.
Okay.
So the text that we get,
40 billion
Hold on.
time.
the text that we get before meeting, hold on.
I was half tempted to reply, I like to buy an S and then guess the phrase.
I know.
He was
I
like, so I got into a hornet's nest mowing the grass. The first time I heard, like, I read it, and what I took it as was he had crawled into a giant hornet's nest. I got into a hornet's nest. What? I just said, oof. He said, I'm in a lot of pain. Possibly stung 40 billion time. No S. Time. I said, I feel like that might be an exaggeration, but I'm sorry for your loss.
40 billion. Seriously, it's just a singular.
Control
40 billion.
you?
I'm sorry, is it Control Z? Is that undo?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you knew what I meant.
I'm so confused. I was
You
like,
know what I
maybe he
meant.
means undo, but all right.
I know. I was like,
Yeah.
what is control you?
Spam control you. So yeah, I got stung in the head. If it was just my body, I'd do it. But dude, I can't even think straight, let alone talk straight. So now he's
so
a
he's
flaming
thinking-
homosexual.
He's thinking gay.
So, yeah,
Oh yeah,
that
no.
happened. Ow,
My girlfriend
Did you get
was.
no, mosquito. We were outside playing with a laser.
So yeah, no, my girlfriend asked me. She's like, "Is there any? Okay, before I go, is there anything you need me to get you or anything like that?" I was like, "A noose." She's like, "No," and then you hear my mom in the very far background go, "On its way, honey." I was like, "Oh, Mom, I love you." That door's open.
Austin's licking his fingers.
Mhm.
It is.
It's such good bread, dude.
Should we
This
shut
is some
that
good
door?
bread.
All right, that's all.
Are you guys
Good
good
night.
Hey,
Night,
hey,
guys.
hey, before you go to bed,
Yeah.
can you shut the door?
Hey, Peaches, I'll do that just for you.
Yeah. Thanks, hon.
Were you raised in a barn, you animal?
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
You actually were the last one to come up the stairs.
I know.
Okay, cool.
I'm not blaming nobody.
Well, you got nobody to blame but you. That's a different song.
He's okay. So yeah, your story. What happened at work?
Oh, yeah. I'm pissed.
Okay.
There's this new guy at work. We'll call him Adam because his name is Adam.
We won't name names, but Adam's a fucking asshole.
But, like, no. Like, so they hired him to work back in the dairy department with us, like, as this other guy. He's been there, like, a week and a half, and they're already, like, giving him his own shifts, which you would think would mean he's competent enough to work on his own without support. That is the biggest, wrongest thing since ever things were wronged.
Does he need a bra?
Actually, he probably could. But
Wait. What? Hold on. What?
he's having gay thoughts. What do you expect?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
okay.
I missed that set of words, and I was like, what the fuck does a bra have to do with anything? But okay.
Does he need a
continue.
bra? I'll be his bra.
A beer bra? A bra for your beers, bra?
But like, yeah, so I come in. He works 6 hours in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I came in and worked 6 hours. And I felt like the most of the time, thanks, man. Most of the time was spent cleaning up after the mess that he had left, which is impressive because he only worked 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
It was just annoying. He puts milk up backwards.
What kind of
He
fucking
puts the
animal
front label
puts
facing like the back. I'm like, what an idiot.
fucking animal?
I mean,
it's like, what? How do you think it's supposed to go in? Like, you walk in the store, like you're gonna buy it. Like, which way is it supposed to face?
exactly. It's not that complicated.
Is there anything on the back, or is it just blank? Because
It's
some
blank.
milks
Most of them- most of
have
them are
other
blank.
stuff on the back.
Like they have the pattern. The pattern's the same or something, but like either that or they'll put like nutritional value on it.
He's just turned Martin's into a big game show. Guess the dairy.
I know, right? And I'm like, I'm sitting there. I'm like, my gosh, here's another thing he messed up. My gosh, there's another thing he messed up. And it's like things that I know I didn't do or the other guy working there didn't do.
Yeah.
And it's like I see this. I'm like, Adam. That's pretty much how
Megan.
my entire night went. Was just like, I'm gonna go stay in this corner because there's no way he screwed anything up here. Adam.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. That was a fun 6 hours.
New guys, you know.
I had a
If there was a dairy show, I'm trying back in. If there was a dairy show, a dairy game show, like you'd have a 2% chance of winning. I'm done.
that was actually really good.
That was pretty decent.
really
Yeah,
good.
it was pretty.
It's just that's only like one type of milk though. The whole
Yeah,
milk's
I mean-
4%.
There's so many.
Heavy cream's 36%.
Whole milk is all of the fat.
Oh, 100%. It's just a gallon
It's just lard.
thing of fat. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
You have
just
to like shake it a little to get it come out of the jug, and it goes.
silly.
Oh God,
that
that
was a
noise!
good one,
That was
wasn't it?
really good. I hate it. So this motherfucker got olives on half the pizza.
Well, I'm glad because I don't.
Is
like
that
it.
olives?
Yeah, black olives.
I have never had olives on a pizza, and I will never have olives on a pizza.
No.
No, you have to
so
try
good.
it.
No,
it is so good.
I will pass. So
Well,
yeah, Jeremiah ordered pizza like 10.
You ordered
well,
a lot of things.
It was like 20 minutes before we
Was
started
it
the
not good?
podcast, and it got
I
here.
don't know.
just a
I
minute
haven't
ago.
had the pizza yet, Jeremiah.
Okay.
Somebody interrupted.
Have you ever
Yo.
had banana peppers on pizza?
Yes, I love banana
Banana
peppers.
peppers are good on like I get them on my Subway.
Get them on
subs.
ice cream.
No.
What?
I'll see if anybody caught it. So yeah, I have a story about work yesterday. Today was okay. It was just really busy. I'm gonna hit you
I'm sorry.
In the teeth.
Oh. They'll save me the cost of braces.
Today was mostly fine. But yesterday, I had. So, I'm a stickler on Southern American accents. Like really Southern, not like
Like you're obsessed with them?
no. Like I hate them.
Okay.
Like Southern accents, I'm fine with.
So your Southern accent,
Redneck
racist.
accents, I hate.
Oh, okay.
Like where it's for sure artificial, and there's no way that
You
it
talking
was
about
learned.
big old truck, yeah, son?
Yeah, where it was like, there's no way it was learned by being around people.
Oh no, my dad. All right. So quick side.
Yeah, go ahead.
My dad was born and raised in Kentucky,
Yeah,
and like, for some odd reason, their natural draw is mumbled, like West Virginia slang. Like it's like the worst version of.
Well, they
like,
are just southern West Virginia, so.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it's like, have you ever seen like the logger TV shows?
yeah.
They're all from Kentucky. If you have to put subtitles on English, that's bad. And that seriously. And I was born and raised learning that stuff, dude.
Like they try to tell you how to change a tire. It's like, well, you gotta take your 2x4 and put it in the doohickey, and then you gotta do a big old twist and do
You
it
got it.
counterclockwise. But then you also got to do the thing, and you gotta put it on a jack wagon. You know what I'm saying, son? And you gotta go down to the corner lot, past the lot, go to the next lot, and then there you go.
If you reach a Dairy Queen, you gone too far.
No, I mean,
You're like, dude, I just wanted to know where the bathroom was.
And then, but then like when they're really really country, they always end every sentence with or some like weird like kind of a noise. I'm just like, no, like I'm fine with like if you have a Southern accent and I can tell that it's like
Genuine.
you grew up having a Southern accent, like that's fine. Like sometimes when I'm tired, I have this very slight Southern
like
accent.
have a Southern accent, but learned how to speak with
Yeah.
diction.
Yeah.
Like there are people that like have that Southern accent and don't learn. how to
Well, the one thing that pisses me off the most is when children have very thick Southern accents. I don't know why, but it just is like, what the fuck spawned you? What egg did you hatch from?
I'm seeing a red-haired, freckled-faced boy.
I'm all hyped up on Mountain Dew.
speak. Like that. Like, oh, have you ever heard that
shut your
yodeling boy
whore
talk?
mouth.
What?
Like the Walmart yodeling boy.
Yeah,
He talks just like that.
I hate that.
Oh my god.
Because you know that's not just like you grew up that way. It's
Right,
just
well-
it's like, well, it's like it's not that that's just where you're from. It's who you were raised by.
Mm-hmm.
Which even then, like, is
So it irritates you
Odd.
more that the parents raised him that way versus him actually having it, because
Yeah.
you can't really control
Yeah.
it.
I mean, I hate people who don't have the accent, but like create the accent. Like,
In, like, our high
I'm
school?
gonna name
Yeah.
drop. I'm gonna name drop, but I'm gonna bleep it out. Fucking Dylan Comer.
oh my gosh,
I hate that motherfucker. Sorry.
All right.
What's our timestamp?
Whatever. It was 12 something.
Cool.
It'll be in the first like 15 minutes.
Well, I would imagine if it's at the 12-minute marker.
Yeah. Anyway, so the story that pertains to that is there's two stories I have about yesterday. One is there was this party, one of the tables that you like I have to split, and it was
The gay tables.
a mom and a dad
Gables.
that
I'm sorry.
and of Green Gables. There's a mom and a dad, and I guess like either one of their siblings or a friend or something. But then it was a party of 9, 3 adults, the rest were kids. Their kids. And the one on the end of the table was like the oldest. At most was like 9 or 10. And this kid had the like long carabiner clip-on thing on his jeans,
mm-hmm.
like washed out jeans, frayed at the bottom with boots, camo shirt.
Frayed.
What?
Like, the jeans were frayed, like as an old or like made that way.
Either way,
They're probably they were worn. I don't-
like camo shirt, mesh cap, and I was like, sure, dress that way, that's fine. But then he opened his fucking mouth. I said, what can I get you to drink, bud? And he goes, I want a Mountain Dew. And I was like, ooh, here it goes. He's like, I want a Mountain Dew. And I was like, we have mellow yellow. Does that work? He's like, yeah, mellow yellow's fine. And I was like, you're fucking 10. And then the little boy beside him, I was like, what can I get you to drink? And he goes, I want pancakes. This table was so much better because the two really little ones were so adorable because they were so dumb. I was like, what can I get you to drink? And he goes, I want pancakes and ice cream. And I was like,
It's not a drink.
and I was like,
you
you're,
some, and I like to see you try to drink that.
and I was like, you're about 2 shovels short of a tool shed. That's what you are. And, and then the other one, and eventually he was like, sweet tea. And then the one next to him was a little younger, probably like 3 or 4.
Mm.
And I was like, what can I get you to drink? And he goes, I want pancakes. Like blank stare. Like I just,
You reminded him of the war.
like I just told him that Santa didn't exist. He was like,
oh my gosh.
I want pancakes. And I was like, what can I get you to drink?
Where are the
like,
parents in this situation?
right beside him.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, no. I was like, what can I get you to drink? I was like, I'll take your food order in a minute. Like, what do you want to drink right now?
What
And he-
fluid do you want to enter your body via your mouth?
And
put into a
he
cup?
he kept staring at me like, how do you not getting this? And then I kind of like glanced at his dad and he goes, sweet tea. I was like, okay, thanks. The thing was, neither the mom nor the dad had an accent at all.
Oh yeah, no, that's
yeah.
ding 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 ding.
Mm.
Unless they're like some poor orphanage storyline
Maybe, I
that we
don't know.
don't know that would be funny to talk about and make up at a later date.
Anyway,
The
so
redneck Bruce Wayne's.
I don't know why that irritated me so bad, but it did. But and then little fucker didn't eat pancakes. Sorry. And so
He was not the customer you wanted, but he was the customer
you
you deserved.
I saw a thing the other day where it was like there's a picture of Batman. He was like, I want my son to grow up just like me.
Parents.
And he goes without parents, and he pulls out a gun, and it just ends.
Oh man.
That's exactly what it was. That was great.
Have you seen like what happens? It's a YouTube video.
Mm-mm.
And it's like it's crazy ass like YouTube video, and it relates around this like crime scene, and basically these cops walk in.
Oh, what happened here?
Yeah, what
I think
happened
we showed
here?
him that.
Did
The Tomska.
No.
Oh, we'll show you that later.
Oh
It's
my
hilarious.
gosh.
We're talking about the one that's like the hole.
Yeah, same
It's
guy,
similar,
same guy,
similar.
Same guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one either.
You haven't seen the whole?
No.
We just talked about it so much in front of you that you.
Yeah. I just kind of
Wow.
zoned out for
Okay.
most of it.
But yeah,
Um,
we need to watch that.
Yeah, very funny.
Anyway, other story. This fucking lady. So there was 4 ladies that came in, like 30 minutes before I was supposed to get off, which is fine, whatever. But they were my last table. And they sat down, and the first thing that got on my nerves was this one lady. I was getting everybody's drinks, and I said, and for you, ma'am. And she goes, coffee. That was it. Didn't even look at me, just said coffee. And I was like, I'm going to hit you in the ovaries. And then I brought drinks back and hadn't even said a word yet. Was like pouring coffee. And she goes, no, we're not ready yet. I was like, I didn't ask. But okay.
Dang,
No,
I
those are-
would have lost my
No, you
shit.
should have just been like. So are you guys ready to order yet?
You should act like you didn't even hear.
Sometimes I do that.
You
People
do?
will say some ignorant shit and some like just pure asshole stuff. And I just ignore it. And then I ask like the exact same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
And just to see how far I can push them. It's really funny.
Oh, see if what they do.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I'm an asshole. If people are assholes to me, I'm an asshole.
Yeah,
um,
you would have fun with my father. He has his moments.
Like the time he got a beer bottle broke over his head.
Yeah, that time.
Yeah.
You remember that time in band camp? I played the flute with my pussy.
What?
It's from a movie. It's from American Pie.
Okay. Really?
Yeah, she's like that one.
One of them.
She was like this one
Oh, okay.
time at band camp. I played the flute with my pussy. It's the same lady that plays. Oh God, what is her name?
I don't know.
From How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah.
The wife, Marshall's girlfriend, wife, person.
Brunette or
The
blonde?
redhead.
Redhead. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I don't know her name.
Yeah, I
Anyway,
don't know her name.
Anyway,
Sorry.
so for the rest of the meal, these ladies were fine. The one that was being a dick was fine. She was perfectly nice. Asked for things, said please and thank you, and well, like thank you very much when I got stuff for her, and like you didn't have to do that, and it was really nice. Well, we have like one of our promotions now is like this Parmesan crusted. Pardon me. It was like this Parmesan crusted. Oh, he's showing him a picture of the lady I was talking about.
No,
There's
I've been really trying, baby.
there's it's shut the fuck up. It's a Parmesan crusted like biscuit pot pie, and it's so good.
Oh, you wanna know a really? This is horribly off topic.
Okay.
But it's really funny. Ha-hoo!
What?
He can't not respond to that. I'm sure the mic didn't pick him up.
It didn't.
But he finished Werewolves of London. No, I didn't, because I know it bothers you.
And he has impeccable sexual stamina.
Right now.
And by impeccable, I mean completely impeccable.
It's from Phineas and Ferb.
Funniest and
Okay.
Frob.
We've been bringing that one back up this week a lot.
Also, and I have been throwing that one around. It's really funny. Anyway, so we have this promotion, and we like our actual menu doesn't have pictures of stuff, right?
No, it does not.
But our promotional like folder thing that goes around the menu,
Yes, it does.
has pictures of has pictures of like the promotions,
Dude, they always look great.
and they always taste great.
I know.
And they always look how they look in the picture, right?
Yes.
I mean,
Most of the time.
yeah, I've only gotten like one thing off there, and that was like the maple jam burger, or
Which is now a permanent thing, by the way. So
Oh.
we have to go there sometime.
whatever.
Yeah. And
drooling.
we're having pumpkin
It's
spice
fantastic.
pancakes
Nope, not a fan.
this fall.
Don't like pumpkin
So.
spice.
I had
Literally-
a pumpkin spice latte from
Did they have-
Sheets today, and
I
it was
don't
pretty
like
good.
coffee,
There's special
so-
syrup
I
for
do.
it.
No, it's just regular syrup, but it's like pumpkin infused in it, and it's weird.
Oh,
Literally-
They're okay.
We
Okay.
got pumpkin spice flavored coffee creamer
Mm.
at the beginning of September.
Mm.
Like the first week of September had not been completed, and we had pumpkin spice creamer. We literally had it before I started school.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid.
We have pumpkin spice lattes that we're selling now at Cracker Barrel, and today I had a table of 8 college students. 3 of them were guys,
They
5
all
of them with
ordered?
girls. Every fucking one of them got a pumpkin
Peer
spice
pressure,
latte,
man.
and I was like, "That's fine by me. They're almost $4.
I mean,
like, go ahead."
Is
Yeah,
that like
right?
artificial stuff, or does that actually have pumpkin in it?
Like, they take a pumpkin and juice it.
Yeah.
I mean, because this year,
No,
like
no.
a lot of pumpkin
No, they do.
farms really got too much water,
No, they do.
and they got
Oh, yeah,
flooded
they got
out.
flooded?
Yeah, and so
That's
a lot
funny.
of them got ruined.
I don't
Yeah, I don't know.
know.
Just take a pumpkin and
No, but we use like we have full espresso beans that we grind for the lattes and all of our like crafted stuff.
Uh-huh.
So it's all like fresh made stuff, and then there's like other syrups what they put in it, but nobody needs to know that.
That sounds what?
virgin's blood.
Our special sauce. Yeah, that one's from Jerry. He lives in the back.
Well, at least he's not homeless.
You know?
Yeah, well,
he's
true.
got a place to live.
Anyway, so this
Place to
fucking
eat.
lady.
Oh yeah, sorry. Sorry.
They don't look like normally. They look exactly like they do in the picture, and
Yeah.
all of these pot pies that had come out, like every time I saw one, they looked perfect. They were awesome.
Mhm.
We sprinkle like it's either cilantro or no, it's parsley. No, it's one of those green herbs.
Presley,
Elvis Presley. It's one of those herbs that you
barley,
put on stuff. Shut the fuck up,
thyme.
Thyme. Anyway, but they look good, and somebody else brought the food out to these people, and I saw them take it to the table, and I didn't want to like go there immediately and like and crowd them, so I waited like 3 or 4 minutes, then walked over, said asked everything come out okay, is everything looking good? And they're like, yeah, it's fine, and this woman starts eating it, the pot pie. Come back 10 minutes later, is everything okay? Yeah, we're doing good. 10 minutes later after that, I come back. No, 10 minutes later after that, this woman grabbed another server and told them that the pot pie didn't look like it did in the menu. And the other server was like, hold on, I'm going to grab a menu and I'm going to go talk to her about it. So she goes and talks to her, and this woman is not having it. She's like, it looked like this in the menu, it doesn't look like this when I got it, and blah, blah, blah. And then
I just turn around and walk away. I'll
the
be
other
"Not my
the other
business."
server came back and talked to me, and she was like, it's fine, like, it's whatever. So I let it be for a minute. I come back a few minutes later and was like, are we still doing okay? And this woman goes, no, the pot pie didn't look how it did in the menu. And I'm thinking, half of your Parmesan crusted biscuit is eaten. Half of your pot pie is eaten.
I honestly, I didn't like it.
The pot pie?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I like it. It's good.
I didn't like the cheese on the bread or whatever.
Oh, well,
It was weird.
that's the whole. I mean, that's the point of it. It's a Parmesan crusted thing. So I don't know. To each their own.
I was
Um,
expecting
Well, I
it
mean,
like to be like
Here's my thing,
breaded
Bill.
kind of thing.
Oh,
As
yeah.
the pot
How,
pie.
how does a pot pie not look like a picture? It's literally a bowl of bread with
But
a
it's-
roof of
See,
bread.
it's not.
It's not.
It's not.
yeah.
It's not made like that. It's like the pot pie filling in a bowl,
Uh-huh.
and then it has Parmesan crusted biscuits in it. It's not like made like a pot pie.
Oh.
It's the pot pie filling with biscuits
Okay,
on
So-
it.
so
I
it's-
don't know how you could mess that up.
It's not. Wasn't messed up. It looked fine.
Like, there's just no way
It
because it's
looked
just
perfectly
stuff
fine.
in a
It
bowl
was half eaten. That's
and
why
a
it didn't look
biscuit
like
on
the
the
picture.
side.
It-
You can't mess it up.
It looked fine.
Yeah.
It looked like every other pot pie I had taken out that day.
It's
Mhm.
like she had short-term memory loss. Forgot what it looked like. Looked down after she ate half of it and went, wow, that's not what the picture looked like.
Well, she was like, and she's like, the main reason I ordered is because I saw two ladies had ordered it when I was walking in, and it looked really good, and it didn't look like mine did. And I was like, ma'am, I was like, every pot pie that I've seen come out looks exactly like yours did. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. And I was like, well, what did you think of it? And she was like, oh, it was really good. And I was like, then why are you complaining? And she was like, well, if you advertise it as this and it comes out a different way,
you
like
should have told her to run. The heat wave's coming.
What the heck?
exactly.
He's trying to be heard on the mic. That's why.
Oh my god.
And she was like, yeah, I don't understand. Like, it
You're
looks
good.
this way in the menu, but it didn't come out that way. And she's like this around, like she was pointing at the menu, like this around here looks all like crusted and nice and
But if you compare the size and you take measurements and scale it up, this should have been 2 millimeters wide, and
and
the girth was only
Like,
1.7.
was she just trying to get something for nothing? Or
but yeah, well, I'm getting there. And she was like, because I went and got a menu and brought it back and was looking at it with her,
Mhm.
and she was like, see, like this doesn't look the same. And I was like, if you've eaten it, like, if you like it, I don't know why you're complaining about the way it looked. And I was like, I'm sorry, like that it didn't come out to your liking. And then I kind of addressed the table. I was like, is there anything else I can do for you guys? Is there anything I can get you? And she's like, well, you can take it off my tab. And I was like, give me just a minute. Walked away, went and talked to my manager. I told him the story, and he went, no.
No.
Yeah, he was like, no. And he was like, did she eat it? And I went, mm-hmm. He goes, freaking idiots. And so I walked back and I told her, I was like, ma'am, and I was like, I can't take it off. I was like, if you ate it, like you said you enjoyed it, you have eaten a half of it, I can't take it off.
Mhm.
That's, I can't give you something for free, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can take it off your tab if you want to order something else, because this isn't like how you wanted it. If you want to get something else from the menu, I can put that on there and then give you that, take this off the tab. And she was like, well, there was a fly in it. And I was like, can you show me? And she was like, I'm just kidding. I was like, no, the fuck you weren't. Like, you're just trying to get shit for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
And every other person left, like, because they were all separate, all the ladies, there was 4 of them. Each person left $3. And then $1 from her. And I was like, you're just mad because I didn't give in your
I was
bullshit.
expecting like nothing from her.
You should
Yeah, me too.
You should have told her. You should have been like, you better run. A heat wave's coming. I wouldn't want you snowflake to melt.
Yeah, it was retarded. That took a lot longer for us to tell our stories than I was
Yeah,
anticipating.
Mm.
We kept getting off topic, so
Yeah. It was
it was
good.
already a
It's
half
okay.
hour. So it's okay.
Shut up.
So
I'm kidding. I love you.
Go die in a hole.
You look like him.
is there any? He said he feels like Edmund. Well, Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we bring up the big topic?
No, I'm good. I'm good to go.
Yeah, I'm good as well.
I'm ready to roll with these punches.
Oh my God! So, last week we kind of we teased for a little bit about what we were going to talk about this week. Paradoxes. How do you
I don't know.
pluralize
We should probably just Google it rather than guess. But I like
paradoxes? Paradox.
paradoxes.
Paradoxes.
Paradoxi.
Multiple paradox is what we're talking about today. I found a really good one. I don't know if you guys have any.
I read like part of yours is very lengthy, and I had to get to work.
Well, I'm gonna read all of it in a minute.
Go for it.
Because it blew my fucking mind. So do you want me to just go ahead and lead off with that?
Yeah, dude.
All right.
Totally do it.
So,
My mind's already blown.
let me see. So this comes from Quora, which do you know what Quora is? For anybody who doesn't know, Quora is basically like Yahoo Answers. People post questions, and then professionals or people skilled in that area, or just anybody can answer and give their opinions and answers of what the person asked. So this one person asked, what are some thought-provoking theories and paradox, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
This isn't necessarily a paradox, but it's more of
Very interesting mind-boggling thing.
yeah, blows your fucking mind. So the person that answered this was named Alex Todorovic. And
I think he's Russian.
I'm gonna read
Could be
this
Polish.
long thing that he put, which
Or
is
Ukrainian.
insane. Shut up. So he says, your question is so broad that it's difficult to address. I'll tell you something that has made me think quite a bit. How is it that the Sumerian civilization came up with base 60 mathematics and the whole idea that there are 60 seconds in a minute, 60 minutes in an hour, 24 hours in a day, 12 days and 12 night, or 12 day and 12 night? After all, they could have chosen any way to divide one day, the period of time it takes the Earth to spin once. When you do the math, there are 86,400 seconds in a day, or 43,200 seconds of day and 43,200 seconds of night if you live in the Middle East. If you know anything about the number 432, a number that is very important in various mythologies, the whole thing is quite bizarre. For example, the diameter of the sun is 864,000 miles, and the diameter of the moon is 2,160, half, which is half of 4,320. And 432 squared is the speed of light in miles. 432 was middle A in Pythagorean tuning of an instrument. The precession of the equinoxes, which the Maya somehow figured out, is 25,920 years. And what the Maya called a great year, which divided by 60 is 432. The following is from a book about the pyramids by Graham Hancock and Bauval. I'm not sure how it is, Bauval. Anyway, this is from the book. Mm-hmm. Also, almost impossible, since the mathematics value of pi, 3.14, is not supposed to have been calculated by any civilization until the Greeks stumbled upon it in the 3rd century BC, is the fact the designed height of the Great Pyramids, which is 481.3949 feet, bears the same relationship to its base perimeter of 3,023.16 feet, as does the circumference of any circle to its radius. Equally impossible, at any rate for a people like the ancient Egyptians who are supposed to have known nothing about the true shape and size of our planet, is the relationship in a scale of 1 to 43,200 that exists between the dimensions of the pyramid and the dimensions of the Earth. So are you following me so far?
Yes.
That's fucking crazy.
Right.
That he was saying that 432 is a very prevalent number and it has a lot of patterns in what happens. The fact that the pyramids are perfectly to scale of a 1 to 4,320 of the Earth, that's fucking insane. Like, the fact that it's that precise. And setting aside for the moment the question of whether we are dealing with coincidence here, it is a simple fact, verifiable on any pocket calculator, that if you take the monument's original height of 481.39 feet, 3949, and multiply it by 43,200, you get the quotient of 3938.685 miles. This is an underestimate of just 11 miles of the true figure for the polar radius of the Earth, worked out by the best modern methods. Likewise, if you take the monument's perimeter at the base, which is 3023.16, and multiply it by 43,200, then you get 24,734.49, or 94 miles. As a result, that is within 170 miles of the true equatorial circumference of the Earth. So, those numbers, it's a lot of numbers, and a lot to wrap your head around. But in the grand scheme of things, 170 miles sounds like a lot. But in relation to the Earth's total circumference, there's a minus error, or to a minus error of only 3/4. Hold on. Let me reread that. To a minus error of only 3/4 of a single % of the Earth's circumference. Like, how do you get that fucking precise in Egypt? Like, ancient Egypt.
Precision.
That's fucking insane.
It is.
That's just hurt my brain.
Aliens.
No, you have to remember.
Hurt my brain.
Aliens.
I mean, you have to remember that
Aliens.
most likely back then they had like specific mathematicians that their main.
No, but what they're saying is it should be impossible to do without the knowledge that like a relationship between like a pyramid has to do with like you have to multiply by pi.
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying pi wasn't discovered until several centuries after that,
In Greece.
which means they must have had a different method.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like they must have had some type of either. I mean, I don't fully believe that they had aliens, but I do think that they probably had.
Martians?
Yeah.
See, that's the thing that like,
Mercurians?
that's the thing that freaks me out about ancient things and like ancient civilizations and technologies, and especially like Stonehenge and the pyramids. And it's that how do people get from building pyramids, or even before that, like using stone tools and things like that, to having cars? Like there are just gaps in human action that don't make sense unless there was some intervention from another race or some grand discovery of technology that wasn't our making. It just, to me, that doesn't make sense, because there's just leaps from one set of technology to the next that don't line up.
I mean, I guess it's one of those things where like each generational gap or the thing.
Yeah.
Like in our current time, we focused on the industrialization, while most likely back then they probably focused on other things. While we might have focused on automobiles, trains, and cars and stuff like that, they might have focused on building that giant freaking pyramid. And so
It's just, I don't know.
Makes
It
it-
just
no,
blows
there's
my
three of
mind.
them, though.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like
And
the-
Did
Oh,
you-
there- and
did you-
Giza. There's three
And did
in
you know
Giza.
that I think it's the three pyramids line up perfectly with Orion's belt?
Yeah.
Well, I think they...
mimic or mirror.
well, they don't call it Orion's belt because obviously that's Greek. But it
Yeah.
had something to do with three kings. Like, they each represent, like,
A pharaoh?
I
Yeah.
believe so. Something like that.
Yeah, and no, I mean, so it's like, you know how like in almost every video game or something like that, or just whatever it is out there, they always think, what if this small thing changed, which then progressed us instead of going with weapons, we went with energy or something of that
Yeah.
nature.
So,
that we
like,
can-
like, you're talking about, like, steampunk themes and, like, cyberpunk themes.
yeah,
like
it's
those
just
kinda-
like, and so I would imagine that something probably very similar happened back then, just minus what we know now. Like,
Yeah.
just, and then without being present in that timeline, we're never going to be able to figure that out.
Yeah, and it just like thinking about how people came across the technologies and things that we have now. Like devices we can use to record our voices and then upload them to the internet. and like how somebody was able to create a television and send a signal of a picture through a wire into diodes to look at. Like that, it just blows my mind how people created technology.
I'm just impressed by like Bluetooth.
Yeah, like Wi-Fi and
and
Bluetooth.
nothing connects to it. It's like, what?
Yeah, like Bluetooth and Wi-Fi just fucking blows my mind.
Yeah.
And cell towers and like just things like it just hurts.
Well, you want to hear? You want to hear something interesting?
Okay.
They don't know what it is. It's believed to be a clock, but it has something to do with. I'm looking up on Wikipedia right here, so you know it's 100% accurate. But it's actually probably pretty close to what actually is. I cannot pronounce this. It's an Antikythera mechanism. Is an ancient Greek analog computer, and orrery used to predict astronomical positions and ellipses for calendar and astrological purposes, decades in advance. Let's see. That doesn't seem like the right.
Yeah,
sentence.
look up a little bit. Get in front of the mic.
Sorry.
You're good.
It could also be used to track the 4-year cycle of athletic games, which was similar to the Olympiad. The cycle of the ancient Greek games. I don't understand what that has to do with it. Okay, here we go. The artifact was discovered on the 17th of May, 1902 by archaeologist Valeriso Staes among wreckage retrieved from a wreck off the coast of the Greek island Antikythera. So I guess that's how it got its name. The instrument is believed to have been designed and constructed by Greek scientists and has been variously dated to about 87 BC, or between 150 and 100 BC, or to 205 BC. Don't know why there's so many dates. Or within a generation before the shipwreck, which has been dated to approximately 70 to 60 BC. This is very confusing. But somewhere in there when they found, or I read an article on it, they couldn't figure out because it was like so advanced that the Greeks should not have been able to build it.
Yeah.
Kind of a deal. Let's see. The mechanism suggests that it has 37 gear wheels, enabling it to follow the movements of the moon, the sun, through the zodiac, to predict ellipses and even model the irregular orbit of the moon. Which is pretty impressive.
Aliens.
Right?
It's just alien tech.
Workmanship did not appear again until like it's saying.
Don't say that.
Well, I don't. We can save that for another one. That'd be an interesting.
Well, aliens?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it depends what your definition of an alien is.
Foreigners!
They have
Mexicans.
extra arms.
Wow.
They only have one eye.
Still one-eyed Mexicans.
Yeah.
Wow. That was
It actually sounded Spanish. I'm not gonna lie.
a little bit. Well, Chico means boy. I didn't know if Austin knew.
I mean, why would I? I never
mean,
took Spanish.
Are we just doing like crazy paradoxes? Or
It's just a paradox,
Most
interesting,
paradoxes aren't
mind-blowing
really that
thing.
crazy. They're just like thought-provoking.
I
Yeah,
mean,
like
I
just
got-
really thought-provoking shit.
Like one of them had to do with Achilles running against a tortoise in a race. He gives the tortoise a 500-meter head start, and then he goes, and by the time he gets to 500 meters, the tortoise has gone 50 more meters. By the time he gets to 550 meters, the tortoise has gone 5 more meters. By the time he gets to 555 meters, the tortoise has gone 0.25 more meters. And like you keep infinitely breaking this down,
Yeah.
so theoretically, Achilles can never catch the tortoise.
No.
Because, well, it keeps breaking it into smaller and smaller and smaller, like
I mean-
infinite increments. So on an infinite scale,
mean,
Achilles doesn't
eventually-
In
catch.
terms of like, but if you're looking at it as in terms of distance numbers, he will surpass the amount that the turtle has or the tortoise has.
See, but that's not the point of the
That-
thing, though.
But it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't.
It's
It's not
the point is
impossible
that
to
if
me.
you infinitely, you can break any number up
Well, yeah.
infinitely,
Yes.
and that means if it's infinite, then he will never catch up to infinity.
I see what you're
Like,
saying,
that's
but it
the-
doesn't.
Hence
I
the-
don't see how that's like.
Hence the paradox.
I don't see it as a
I see
paradox.
how it's like crazy that the tortoise could keep going and him not
Yeah.
catch up. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But like, I don't know if I'd consider that one to be like.
Yeah.
I know that was in the
Yeah.
top 10 most intriguing
Well.
paradox.
Okay.
So
So
like,
it's-
there's like a paradox on like boy or girl type thing. So apparently,
Does it have a penis?
72 genders.
No. This one has two.
Penises? No.
Two. Yeah. No, whoa. So anyways.
Double man.
So most families, like they have kind of either like two girls, two boys, an older boy and a younger girl, or an older girl and a younger boy. As far as like for family people, including parents. I mean, if they're both in the picture. Anyway, so I
Rip
mean,
Bruce
for
Wayne's
typically
parents.
you would think it'd be like 50-50 because it's like you can either be a boy or a girl. You know what I mean? When you're born. But apparently, this breaks it down so far that the probability would be more around 1/3 than a half because of the probability of the scenario that they put in place as far as having an older boy and putting that in play.
Wait. Hold on. So you're saying that what are you saying is a chance of 1/3?
That you would be born a boy. Yeah, versus a girl.
So 1/3 chance to be born a
Yep.
boy.
I'm an underdog.
I mean, there is
I-
more women in the world.
Does it explain that?
I mean, not to an extent.
Because that
Well,
doesn't make sense.
I was
to
going to
me.
say, they only do but so much explain
I
because they
mean,
want you to be
the eminent
thought-provoked. Oh, here comes Kate.
Well, I feel like the more explained a paradox is, the more it confuses me.
So it leaves them with 3 equally possible combinations of children in which at least one is a boy, namely MF, which is like male, female, female, male. This means that the probability the older child is a boy. My bad. So
Okay,
that would
there
be
you
that
go.
makes more sense. So it's 1/3.
Okay. No, I was.
I read it
yeah,
wrong.
I was like.
There's a
I
1/3
was
chance
like-
that the older child will be a boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, how the fuck do you get 1/3 out of 2
I don't know. I
possibilities?
thought
I was so
reading it.
confused for a
Well,
second.
no, I mean, but it's like
There is more female though. There's more females in the
Not by a
world.
lot. If you break it down, it's within the 50s.
well, technically, okay, so it's a known.
It's relatively close.
I do know that it is a known fact that with modern medicine, women have been able to live longer, which they're like because back in the old days, most women died during childbirth,
Yeah.
and so, but as a I'm trying to
He's coming down off his high.
I trying to work through my high right now. So as a
Oh, look, a squirrel.
no, but as like a compensation from like just as a human society to survive that, more women were born because it only takes one man to populate 3 women, but like one woman can only have sex with one man and be pregnant with one person, kind of a thing.
What?
Nathaniel, you remember that time I almost made coat hangers or modern medicine joke?
Yeah.
You
Wow.
mean fathers were molesting their kids?
What?
the-
Whoa! Where the fuck did that come from?
Jeremiah is
I
wait,
was
wait.
confused by what you said.
No.
Now I'm even more confused.
You had mentioned like that one man could like.
He's saying one man can have multiple girls pregnant at
That's
the
what I
same
mean.
time.
Like I was just
Doesn't
thinking
mean
kids.
it's his child.
I mean,
Okay.
He populated the world, and then he used the population to populate again.
I'm the one that's high right now, right?
No,
Not him.
I'm definitely high.
Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan.
What was it like?
I ha-
17,000 some illegitimate children or something like that? Was it more than that or less than that?
He literally like birthed an army to rise up against him, essentially.
Fucking awesome.
What is that one guy?
Well, isn't it
What's that
some
one
like
guy?
outrageous percent
Most people
of
are related to him.
Asian,
It's Genghis Khan.
Is
of,
it?
Asian,
Okay, my
of Asian population can trace their lineage back to Genghis Khan?
It's like 1 in 100.
That's insane. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's
What
it's
a
like
what a
if
monster.
you were going to do a
What a champ.
What an absolute unit.
What
if you were to like have
garbage
create a
father?
chemical weapon, like there's like if you're going to create a chemical weapon or like not a chemical weapon,
You
but
know, no one
a
knows where he's
weapon
buried.
based on
Are you serious?
genetics.
Yeah, and like
Yep,
it would
yeah,
target certain
unmarked
genes.
grave.
That would target
That
certain
was one of
genes.
his,
Genghis
like,
Khan would be the number one that would be hit first.
Yeah.
Wait,
because
but
it's the most
somebody had to
traceable,
know.
which means that you could wipe off.
Time.
I'll look it
The
up.
guy
but
who
you could
buried
wipe
him.
off like
I
an
mean, he could
actual
bury himself.
100ths
Probably.
of like the planet.
And then had
He
him
may have-
killed.
I was gonna say he may have had orders. No one knows where Genghis Khan's buried.
So he was buried. The guy who buried him was shot by another guy.
Well, they didn't.
And
have
then there was
guns.
another guy who shot that guy.
There's this chain of dead bodies that leads to the grave.
They're all
Yeah,
buried
but
where they
you-
died, and then just eventually, it's the Great Wall of China.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Genghis Khan
That's how
just
they
in the
kept the
Great Wall of China.
Mongolians out the second time.
Genghis Khan is at the end of the Great Wall of China, and the entire wall is his killers, the line of killers. So I looked it up, and the population of the world is 58% female, or 50.8% female, and 49.2% male.
See?
I mean, that makes
There's a clear advantage.
This is
that makes a lot of sense because females are like it just without in the order of quote unquote evolution that would make sense because like you would want to populate more females on the planet so that you could have more population on the
Well, I
planet.
mean,
Can
They're
you
the
look
weaker
on like
sex.
history as far as that? On population?
I don't think they had like a global
joke.
census.
I mean, like a few years ago. You know what I
It
mean?
was
You
a
can-
joke.
okay.
Consensus. Can you say you're joking? I missed it.
Consistent.
He was like, you would want more women to populate theirs, and I was like, because of the weaker sex.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't say that.
I did, and it was a joke, kind of.
I heard Caleb's thoughts say that first.
Yeah, I was. Man, yeah, that was super clear.
1 in
too.
200
right?
men or 1 in 200 people are men are direct descendants. of
That's
Genghis
just
Khan.
that's just general everybody.
Yeah. 1 in 200.
That's crazy.
1 in 200
I am not
Of the
related.
world's population.
of the world. I mean, granted, we're white, so the likelihood of us being
I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
you
pretty
probably
tan.
have Genghis Khan somewhere in one of us.
Well, great grandmother
grandmother was great.
By Genghis Khan.
Yeah,
but she didn't have a child. So Genghis Khan was.
I had a grievance with the movie Black Panther.
Yeah.
The scene,
So did so many other people.
well, the scene with where Killmonger's talking about
Still made so much money.
where he's
You mean Superman?
What?
He was raped.
No.
Why is that your thing? Why is that your thing?
I really
It's only
thought
on the
you said
podcast.
that.
I didn't.
It's
I
only
really
on the
thought-
podcast. That's the only time he ever brings up
It's
rape.
like, oh, your dad raped you? Oh my
Oh
god!
dang!
No, he said hi.
That's pretty cool.
I gotta go.
You have to go.
Where are you going?
To the couch.
What did you?
Like leans back towards the mic sensually.
He did like
No,
this really like awesome head bob. He was like,
Well,
"Cow."
he says like he starts complaining about what about my ancestors who jumped from ships.
yeah.
And
no.
I was like,
I
if
had
they
a
jumped
grievance
from
with that.
ships, they couldn't have been
No,
your
here's
ancestors,
what-
unless they had a child with them on board that survived. That's where it is.
My grievance was the fact that we never saw his mother. So assuming she was black, then only half of his ancestors did because his father was from Wakanda and they never left.
Yeah. So
That was my grievance.
I was upset.
But someone suggesting that the guy who played Killmonger like for Superman.
I don't see that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be
In,
okay with
like-
it. He's a good actor.
He is. I like Michael B. Jordan. He's Creed 2's coming
he's-
out sometime
Yeah.
in the next year, right?
Yeah, I just saw a trailer for it. I
Yeah.
haven't seen the first one. I
Me either.
want to. They're
Heard it
good
was
movies.
great.
Would he be Clark Kent?
Probably not.
Okay, that's my grievance. Clark Kent's white.
Because Henry Cavill's stepping down as Superman.
Cavill.
Is it Cavill?
Really?
It's Cavill.
Then what happened to the whole?
The multiverse.
Yeah.
I think they're
That's-
just sticking with, well, we're just gonna make movies.
Yeah, they're just gonna
They're
make
not
movies and
connected.
different stories. Well,
Because
what is the guy's
they can't
name?
Make a connected movie.
What is the guy that
ruining it.
played?
Batman?
No, shut up! Shut the fuck up! He played Johnny Cash in Walk the Line.
Johnny Cash.
No, shut the fuck up! It wasn't Ben Affleck. No, the guy who
I know who you're
played.
talking about. I don't know his name.
It's some. It starts with a Q. I don't know. Anyway,
the guy who they're talking about being the next Batman.
no. He's gonna be the Joker. They've confirmed that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they have like the costume for him, and he
But
looks.
it's a different
You guys
Joker.
know
It's
more
not
than
Jared
I
Leto's
do.
Joker.
No. Yeah, it's a different
Yeah,
Joker.
that's what I'm saying. They've been
Yeah,
doing that
exactly.
for a while. That was
Like
the
the
plan.
Joker standalone movie, the new one is gonna be
not
this
Jared
guy.
Leto. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really excited
I didn't know who it was going to be. I just knew it wasn't
because
Jared
he
Leto.
looks really good in the makeup. Like he looks really fucking creepy. And
Good.
instead of having the
They should
smile,
just have
he
Mark
has a
Hamill.
sad face now.
They should make Mark Hamill the Joker. because he is.
He's so good at it.
He is. I'm pretty sure he's the voice for the Arkham.
He's it for Arkham and like almost all
Any
of the
cartoon.
animated.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure any cartoon. And I think there's a couple other.
Speaking of the Arkham series, I really want to get Arkham Knight because I never played it. But
I'm about to buy all 3 of them.
me too, because I saw a video of Azrael.
I watched that too. The ending.
Yeah, and that's fucking awesome.
You get to
Azrael looks
choose?
so badass.
He does.
I know.
I want to play as him.
Yeah, I want to watch. I need to watch Gotham because he's in that show too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah,
I
he
started
tries to
it.
kill Gordon.
I watched the first 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
But then I got kind of tired of it.
The first one ended pretty good.
The first season ended good.
Yeah.
And then the second season got weird.
I
Because
haven't
Penguin was
actually
trying to
watched it
make
yet.
his move, sort of, and it was just kind of like
No.
it got really like drawn out. In my
All I know
opinion.
is that it's really fucked up how they do the Joker in that show because
they're also skipping through the timeline.
Are you?
yeah, they followed one. They followed the one storyline of the Joker where his face gets cut off, and he dies,
Mhm.
and then he is brought back somehow, and he
I like how we're
puts
not
his
talking
face
about
back on.
paradoxes.
Ooh.
like sews it back on,
Ew.
and for the rest of the show, he has a sewn on face. It's fucking terrifying.
You want to talk about something
And the
else
kid
that's-
and the guy that plays him is phenomenal.
something else that's real creepy?
What?
I watched this like videos like the 10 worst things the Green Goblin ever did to Spider-Man.
Oh,
They are like borderline disturbing.
Ooh.
Like one of them involves like him, like Norman Osborn seducing Gwen Stacy, impregnating her, and then taking her twin babies without telling Peter Parker about it and giving them the Green Goblin serum, and they grow up as like devil spawn
That's
goblins
fucking
that
awesome.
try to kill Peter Parker. on
That's
multiple
amazing.
Dude, they
occasions.
should definitely use that one.
What a mastermind!
How creepy. Well, see, here's the problem though. Norman Osborn's supposed to be like 40. Gwen Stacy's like 18.
Exactly.
legal.
When she dies.
She's legal.
She's legal.
When she dies.
She's legal.
She's legal.
When
You know that
she
didn't
dies.
There's
say
12
no.
months in a year. It could have
didn't
been
say
2 days
no.
before her birthday.
I didn't hear her say no.
It just goes, I just won't read this word. What? It's when she says no. I just won't read it. I didn't see her say no. But yeah, that's like one of them. There's like many strange, very strange.
Green
There's a-
Goblin is. I feel like they did not do the Green Goblin justice at all because he's
In the first
fucked
movie?
up. Yeah, in
Yeah.
the Spider-Man movie because he's fucked up.
I think they're going to though with the Spider-Man games
Oh, they better.
because did you watch the end? You
I haven't watched any of the
I don't
walkthrough
wanna
because I
spoil
want
it.
to get it. I
I
want to
don't
get a
wanna-
PS4.
He did do a
No,
good
he
job.
did. I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah, I
I'm saying
thought
they
he
didn't do
did
a good
pretty
job
good.
of fleshing out his character and
But,
fleshing out
yeah,
the
it's
Green
like-
Goblin as a villain.
like
Yeah.
Batman movies.
Because he's fucking insane.
Yeah, because they ended it where he was like he regretted what he did.
yeah.
So
Well, I was gonna say, or like the Batman movies, they never give Batman his full intelligence.
If you're gonna
Except-
input, you gotta be over.
Yeah.
it, man.
Maybe Ben Affleck.
I mean,
and I still don't think
What are you talking about?
Batman. Like in all the Batman movies and stuff, they never. He's supposed to be the world's greatest detective. Like,
Yeah, they
super
never go
high
into that.
IQ.
I mean, because
And-
like
yeah, never.
they use his butler, like whatever.
Yeah, I know. Alfred seems to be smarter than
Yeah,
him.
that's what.
I
mean-
love Michael Caine as
I
a
did too.
butler, but I love whoever the fucking guy
Someone
is.
Just want to watch the world, Ben.
Whoever the guy is in the Ben Affleck movies,
I love
is
his.
awesome as
He's-
Alfred.
Yes.
He's a better Alfred.
And
Michael Caine's a
so
better butler.
folds the House of Wayne. That was like my favorite
And
line from Batman versus
he-
Superman.
Is that the same guy that plays?
Don't know.
You ever seen the movie Aragon?
No. Yes.
With
a
the
long
blue
time ago.
dragon?
Yeah, a long time.
You remember
ago.
the mage?
Not really. The guy wears black.
No, the guy that
Or is that,
that
was my bad
mentors
guy.
him. Brom?
I don't know. It's been so long. That
The
was
guy-
like 5th grade, dude. That was our.
The guy that takes him in
Yeah, I
and
know,
saves
but it's
him.
just
Do you know who I'm
been so
talking about?
long.
Did you ever watch that movie?
I played the video game too, but I
you-
just been
what
so
is it
long.
called?
Aragon.
Aragon.
The dragon. The dude's like blonde.
Saphira. Yeah, he like bonds with it. He finds a dragon egg and bonds with it.
Yeah.
And like dragon eggs
Medieval.
won't hatch until they find their rider.
Yeah.
And then she ends up hatching in his farm, like in his
This
barn.
Does not sound familiar to me.
Hold
at
on.
all.
It was our 5th grade year, so you would have been in 3rd grade. That's when it was like big.
Oh,
'Cause I remember they're
I
like
don't think I did.
they were giving that book away for free at the book fair.
Hold on, let
Or
me-
like 5th grade year.
Aragon.
I
I'm
remember
gonna
you
look it
were-
up because I'm
You
gonna
were
figure out
into
who
it.
this
Wait a
guy
minute.
is.
You read the book
I read the book. I
There's,
watched
like,
the movie like
3
a million
books.
times.
or something.
No,
like-
I don't think I've seen it.
It's a decent movie, or at least I remember it being a decent movie. But that was also
I mean, I'm okay with like
that was
crappy
10 years ago,
quality
so well,
movies as long as it
Aragon.
has good
Aragon.
potential.
I want to try to find because it's just coming up with books. I'm thinking
no.
film. There it is. It made it 2006. Jesus Christ.
I'm old.
So let's see. Cast. It is Jeremy Irons,
Okay, cool.
the guy that plays Brom. Hold on, I need to find full cast so I can show you a picture of this. And I'll put a picture of him in the podcast. I just got to remember
Yeah.
that guy plays Alfred.
And so falls the house of
I'm
Wayne.
gonna sit here just eat some pizza.
That's cool.
Anyway, he
There's someone
plays.
else.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't.
He
recognize
plays Brom,
slice
who
of
is the
olives.
guy who takes Aragon under his wing. And anyway, he is a I love his voice.
it a
Like
long
he's
movie?
phenomenal. Aragon?
Yeah.
I don't
don't think
remember.
so.
I don't remember.
No, it was pretty
think so.
short. Okay.
Let's put it this way: that there were 3 books, I believe, maybe more.
I
They only
think
made the
there's
one movie.
yeah. I'm really disappointed because they could have made phenomenal movies
And-
because they had fucking what's his name, the crazy dude from Red.
Oh,
The
I don't-
bald head dude.
No,
yeah,
Or no, to the
not Bruce
dude
Willis,
who
but
the guy who's like she called me or what she called me old or whatever he says.
Yeah, the one
The
that
guy
was
who's
like
introduced-
freaking out when the woman walks by with the
John
purse.
Malkovich.
His house is an underground.
Oh
bunker,
yeah,
that
yeah,
guy.
yeah.
And where he meets him, he like jumps out of a bush or something. He's like, "Can you remove the knife from my balls now?" And he's like, "I guess so." And like just slowly moves away, and it goes sing.
Yeah, John Malkovich is the guy I was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was a phenomenal villain. He played that part really well.
Yeah, I could see that. He looked like he would-
Galbatorix was the
I don't.
villain's name.
It's been so long.
And he had it like
We are
they
so
were
off
you
topic.
have the huge reveal that he's actually a dragon rider at the end, and then never flesh out the story anymore in any other movies.
I would. Ooh, can you imagine Tom Holland's character if they brought in the Green Goblin?
Oh my god!
Like
yeah.
if they like progressively, like not up front, just brought him out, but over a couple movies or something.
Maybe Far From Home.
progressed the story and see, Peter Parker needs to be a lot older to fight the Green Goblin, in my opinion,
Well, like,
because it's like such a dark character.
yeah, he's
Like
real
it'd be
fucked up.
kind of messed up for it to be like, "Hey, middle schooler, I'm the Green Goblin, son." It'd also be cool if they
Well, I
brought
mean,
in.
Well, the thing is like in the Tobey Maguire movies,
Yeah,
he's in high school, but he looks 30.
he's only in high school in the first one. The second one, he's in college.
No, but the one that he
And-
fights
and-
the Green Goblin, he's
Yeah,
in high school.
Yeah,
Is what I'm saying. And so is Tom Holland's character. It's
Yeah.
just he looks younger. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Tom
agree.
Holland's
21.
is he 21 now?
He's our age.
Wow.
He just got baby face.
I don't know. I think like the new Spider-Man is doing pretty good.
I
So
fucking love that. I
do
love
too.
Tom Holland
That
as
one's not on
Spider-Man.
Netflix.
It was for a while.
yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was.
But it's
Homecoming?
but it's already off.
Yeah, it was on for a few months.
It was too popular.
That's what I'm saying. Like I mean, Black Panther and Ragnarok are still
Yeah,
on.
they've
but
been on.
It's 'cause Black
Ragnarok's
Panther
been on
kinda
there
tanked.
like a really. It did.
no,
I mean,
I
it
thought it
did
did
not.
not the
really
box
well.
office, it just sucked.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just,
you-
Oh,
you didn't
you
like
did.
it, yeah. I thought it was good.
I
it was
thought.
fine.
Yeah, I thought it was portrayed really well.
In comparison to all, like, and
In comparison to most of the MCU, it was like
compared to Justice
Meh.
League.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Compared to Justice League,
Fucking
it was
phenomenal.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
Justice League was ass. Sorry guys, but yeah. Oh,
That's
God.
funny, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
funny.
ridiculous. We were talking about fucking paradoxes, and
I
now
know.
we're talking about the MCU. Oh, what I'm really hoping is
Wouldn't
just
Paradox
really
be a
like
good
Spider-Man.
villain name?
I know it's yes.
They have.
He said, "Would Paradox be a good villain name
Oh, okay.
I mean, granted, there probably is one, but like
somewhere?"
That'd be interesting. Like
the
he-
superpower of a paradox, like he just flies down, says something to you, your mind blows up.
Well, I was gonna say not even like blows up, but you just become so confused, you get like entranced, and you
I
think
mean,
you're in a
wouldn't
world
he
that's
be?
not.
Wouldn't
Yeah.
he be confused though if he's
No,
a
'cause
paradox?
It's his power.
I mean,
They
if
just
he's
call
a
him
paradox.
But what if
But-
he is also a paradox?
Yeah,
what
yeah,
paradox would
What if he's not
paradox
real?
be?
What if the
Oh my god!
Look, we've already won.
Another
already beat
another
we
thing,
win the MCU?
another thing that the Green Goblin did to Spider-Man was cloned him. Norman Osborn cloned him. That's where the Scarlet Spider comes from, the one that
Yeah.
has the
Yeah.
really awesome suit, with this like the hoodie.
Yeah.
And then after so that makes Peter Parker think that maybe he's also a clone. He's not like the real original Spider-Man guy. But then Green Goblin actually kills Scarlet Spider in front of Peter Parker,
What the fuck?
right?
Wait, on accident?
No, like intentionally, like in a fight.
Like to fuck with him.
Like
What the?
yeah. And there was also another another line.
That's wrong.
Like
that
is
is
the
so
most
wrong.
genius, horrible shit. I
Right?
love it.
There's another one where he
That's like boot
kidnaps
camp.
Aunt May
It's like boot camp shit.
and hires an actress to play Aunt May. And so for years, this lady who isn't actually Aunt May is playing Aunt May, and then dies. And then Peter Parker's really sad because that's like the second or third worst thing to happen to Peter Parker is when
Yeah.
Aunt May dies. And then comes to find out that Aunt May's still alive because Norman Osborn has her.
What the fuck, dude? Why is he not been fleshed out anymore? Because that's an
Right?
amazing villain.
Yeah.
Right?
See, the thing I'm hoping for, which isn't going to happen, unfortunately, but I'm hoping for, is some kind of allude to Spider-Man in the Venom movie, because that comes out next weekend.
Oh, we need to go see
Oh
that.
yeah.
Saturday.
We haven't talked about a movie on here in a while.
We haven't. We need to go Saturday. We need to go ahead
I'm
and
off
get
Saturday.
tickets.
So cool.
I'm supposed to work Saturday, but it'll be during the day.
Oh, no.
So if we go at
We'll
Don't-
have to go Saturday. I'm going out of town, so we have to go Saturday.
yeah, so we'll buy tickets at some point this week.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. They might already get sold out. I don't know, but yeah, we need to do that.
That
So-
looks like fun. I hope they have Carnage in it. That's what I want to see.
Carnage is such an awesome villain.
Right?
Mm.
Apparently, he's like the other worst thing, like as
He's-
bad as Ultron, if not worse.
What do you mean, Thanos?
No,
No.
I was like
Better than Thanos. And
Oh,
the
really?
Yeah.
Worst, and the
Well,
worst,
I didn't
yeah.
know. Oh,
Yeah.
ooh.
It depends on what universe of the Marvel comics you look at. Because
I'm talking about like the main line, like because there is.
because the MCU has been taking from so many different storylines.
Well, you're absolutely right,
Yeah.
but from the generic like comic book strip, like one of the deadliest villains is Carnage
Yeah.
because there have been multiple Avengers versus Carnage and then just so many different ones.
Do you
There's
think
just
that'll be
been-
like the next, like after Thanos,
Maybe.
within Avengers 2.0, whatever?
With the
team-
new Avengers.
Yeah, whatever.
Because it
team
has
they-
like part of the X-Men in the new Avengers too. Like
Oh
Wolverine's in the new Avengers.
Who are they
Ronan.
gonna- Who are they going to get to play?
I don't know, but it'll
I
be
mean, he's gonna
because it's not
replace-
because it's different companies.
It is.
And it's different. Like
But I
technically,
mean-
the way they're doing it is a different universe too.
Yeah, you're right. It's just the
I
Wolverine
know what
is
you mean.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I know.
That's why they're putting it down for a little bit, and then
Yeah, but
Hugh Jackman is the
well,
Wolverine.
because in the Venomverse comics
Mm-hmm.
with the Planet of the Symbiotes and that, there's I forget what his name is, but there's like the god of the symbiotes who is like celestial, like higher than celestial power.
Dang.
Yeah, and he's immortal and all this shit, and like he's a fucking asshole.
Oh, you know what's dumb? Someone told me that they were their theory is that it's Galactus, right? That's the big MCU or Marvel Comics villain, right?
I don't know.
I think that's what it is. But someone was saying like that Thanos was trying to like do this to protect the universe from Galactus, who he knew was coming. I'm like, that would be so stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because like the theory is that
Thanos
Galactus
joins the
feeds off.
Avengers.
Well, he feeds off life force.
and
Yeah.
high
So if there's-
populations and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So if there's half the life in the universe,
Yeah,
he has the potential half power. Like I was like that would be incredibly dumb though,
Yeah.
in my opinion. Plus, Silver Surfer
How
kind
so?
of ruined.
How so? How would that be? I mean, because that would be an interesting twist.
It would be an interesting twist, but then it would make like this whole build up almost moot.
Yeah, I
Like
agree.
you've been worried about Thanos, and now it's like, oh, they got to defeat Thanos. They have to save everybody again, because that's like the whole point is they got to bring everybody back, because they're going to,
I mean, why
because
even
they've
bring
already
it?
announced
Yeah.
another Spider-Man, another
And Black
Black
Panther.
Panther, and like etc.
Yeah.
So and then like it would be like these movies were just pointless essentially. Like take out all the Thanos involved things.
yeah.
I mean, that's how it's going to be basically by the end of the movie, anyways. Because if they bring everybody back, then there was no point to have.
Well, I don't think they're going to bring like everybody. Like I'm pretty sure Captain America
I mean,
is going
maybe
to
it would be okay if it wasn't like the main point. Just like bring it up and then just move on. Like he can't do it because he has half power. You can't beat him. You know what I mean?
Well, I don't think they're just going to give up on like the biggest villain in the comic
No.
series.
Just bring forth like hey, he's lost all his power. He can't do it anymore. You know, and like
let's
rely on someone else. I don't know.
I don't know.
Plus, they need to really rework that costume.
For
Galactus. He's like green and purple, and he's got the big like horns on his. Here, I'll look up a picture.
I think I know who you're talking about, but I don't remember.
You mean the giant cloud?
Yes, that's what he was in the Silver Surfer.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm
that.
trying to, but like the,
I think he needs to be more like
they
a person.
they did it.
Well, he does have a person form, and like he's like 100 some feet tall, wears like a green suit, and like I said, I'm pretty sure he's got like purple. Yeah. That guy. Okay, so he's blue and purple. My apologies. He's got the.
What was the creature in?
You recognize me?
Oh, gotcha.
Never mind. Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, cool.
Apparently, there were rumors. I don't know how true this is, but I heard rumors about a Deadpool, a Fantastic Four, something.
A
In the
Deadpool
works.
Spider-Man movie would be good
Oh my God, yes.
because they do team up in the comics several times.
Well, I watched a video about the.
Have you seen? Okay, quick sidebar. Has anybody seen? So the so the gummy worms, the neon gummy worms.
no.
Has anybody seen the Tiny Hands Deadpool version of the neon gummy worms?
No.
No.
How they're literally tiny hands, and you just see Deadpool on the front cover of it, and you just see one of the gummy worms coming out of his arm, and it's just like tiny hand Deadpool gummy worms, like gummy whatever, and it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, it's name brand. Deadpool's in everything.
Did you see where the?
He's in everything.
I
I'm sick and
think-
tired of it.
Did you see where they
I
made
believe
like
that's the point.
like?
I mean, I love it, but I hate it.
Thousands upon thousands of movie covers, like
Yes.
Yeah.
that
Yes.
have Deadpool in them.
He's in everything.
It's
I was-
fucking awesome. I love it.
I'm psyched about that.
I
That was
love
pretty
Deadpool.
cool.
Like,
it's
Deadpool's
it's
probably
all
one of my
Fox
favorite
movies,
characters.
though, right?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
probably.
it's basically it.
But
Like,
yeah.
or he just sold the likeness to everything so that he could get the money for it.
And
Like,
that,
that-
that
like, it
probably
would be
also boosts sales for like movies that don't like Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That probably doesn't sell that much anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go, hey, I already have this movie, but
Put
here
it
it
on
is again
Blu-ray.
with on Blu-ray with Deadpool on
Yeah.
it.
It's like I have to get that.
Because you know someone out there went through and collected every single
Probably.
Deadpool covered movie,
Yeah.
Probably right.
Yeah.
and that would be an amazing collection to
yes,
see.
it would.
They're like just Deadpool is like one of my favorite characters, just in general. Like not just because of Ryan Reynolds, but just overall because he's a fucking nutcase, and I love him. And the thing is that Carnage and Deadpool's like personalities are very, very similar in the comics. Like Carnage doesn't break fourth walls, but he has the kind of like
Yeah.
Merc with the mouth kind of attitude where he just says dumb shit all the time. Where like, I'll see if I can find this video and I can link it to you guys. But this guy goes through the comic book of the Venomverse, where it's like the End Wars of where like everybody has a symbiote suit. Like Doctor
Yeah.
Strange has one, Spider-Man, whatever Wolverine's daughter, whoever her name is,
Ooh.
I don't remember her name from Logan,
I'll
but
look.
his daughter grown up, her
Weapon 21, something like
Captain America, Deadpool. Like, do you know the storylines that involve the poisons?
that. Not really.
Poisons are basically symbiotes predator, like in their natural, from their world, their natural habitat. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the way he looks.
Oh. Symbiotes are hunted, like in their smaller forms, are hunted by these things called poisons. And poisons will, like, they need a host kind of like how symbiotes do in order to reach their full functionality. Well, if somebody has a symbiote, a poison can also infect them. And so there's, like, poison versions of all of these characters, and there's a poison Deadpool, but Deadpool, because he's so fucking insane, just like counteracts the poison, like taking him over, and he looks more badass and has more powers, but he like is fine. So he goes back to all the people with the symbiote suits, and just is like, yeah, so their base is here, let's go, like kills, and they go and kill all of them, and like I want to say Carnage is like the guy who is taken over by Carnage. His name is Cletus, I'm pretty sure. And it's just like a lot of the comic, like they killed a bunch of people. And when they did, Carnage was like, "Hey, that was my kill, you asshole."
Isn't that like an awesome picture?
Oh yeah,
It's like Carnage's hand holding like Iron Man's mask.
yeah.
Oh my
And like it looks awesome. You should put that in there. You
Oh,
probably
they should.
can't because it's copyrighted.
Well, yeah, but there's, yeah, but it's just Carnage is such an awesome character.
He's
And I-
Dude, they
and
should
also,
seriously have
I
some
also
of
watched
those,
a
like,
bunch
put
of
in the
videos
movie,
on
those scenes.
That's
Like
poison.
just have a
That's
scene.
Poison
where-
Deadpool.
That's cool.
Also, there's
So the poisons look more crystalline.
yeah,
Whereas
they're
the
more
symbiotes are like fluid kind of.
yeah
They're more,
That's a neat-
they're more shapely.
the
on
poisons
body
are
while
are more
poisons
chiseled looking. They
Yeah,
look
that-
almost robotic.
That's a neat.
It's
thing.
really really
chiseled.
cool.
They're just
There
really
you go.
ripped.
Here's Poison Deadpool facing Venom.
Yeah. So
He looks very very hurted.
Dang.
yeah, I watched a video on like the top symbiotes. Well, the whole lore behind them is that the first symbiote is the weakest of the entire race because as they multiply
evolve.
and they evolve, yeah, as they multiply, their descendants become stronger and stronger and stronger.
Mhm.
So Carnage is Venom's like grandson or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
And so like Venom's bonds are the strongest of any of the symbiotes with Eddie Brock, Flash Thompson, and Lee Price. Those are like the three strongest bonds of any symbiote. Well, what they're doing with the new Venom movie is they're fleshing out that symbiote culture of the descendants because he fights. I think it's. I want to say it's Rampage. It starts with an R, but it's one of the names. It's this 5 sibling group of symbiotes, and this symbiote is one of them. And he will use his arms and like form weapons out of his arms, and then
Yeah.
you see that in one of the
Trailers.
clips, one of the trailers. So I really hope that they start making more of these movies because they could really go deep into the Venomverse stuff. Because I want to see Carnage. Because Carnage in a movie would be fucking phenomenal.
I was gonna say,
Like,
Especially
that's the
with
one
now,
thing that they
like,
have not
animation.
brought out at all. They have not brought out at all any like hint of Carnage, which has been.
I'm so waiting for it in one of the MCU movies.
And that was
Oh.
like
cannot wait.
so that was like the
even if it's just something as simple as like you see like this red fluid like thing crawling, like one of the like
even if you freaking hinted at it, I'd probably lose my mind.
right, like they could do it
Or
like,
they even like
without plans of making a movie for 10 years, just like a red little thing like crawling on like a stick, like that's like out of focus, like one of the after post credit scenes.
Yeah.
And like it like focuses on a tree limb and you just see like this red like little thing
Because
just kinda,
see,
or-
when,
and then it ends.
or it's like my ideal like after credit scene is you see it kind of pans through like a college dorm, or I don't know what the guy was
Yeah.
that was attached to Carnage, but it kind of pans through
Unlucky.
the room and you see like an ID badge of the guy's name,
yeah.
and then like you see him laying in bed at night, and then you see the onto the wall, and it's like a red symbiote.
That'd be
I would lose my fucking mind.
Back when who was the Amazing Spider-Man?
Tobey Maguire.
No, no.
Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield.
Yeah.
yes.
Back when Andrew Garfield was part of the Spider-Man thing, Sony was actually trying to start, and I was really following this. They were trying to start their own kind of MCU where
But with Spider, like focused
But
around the Spidey.
just like the Spider-Men, like they were just like if I'm not
Well,
mistaken,
yeah.
there's
they
a
were trying
crazy
to,
ton of them.
and so
There's a new Spider-Man movie coming. It's an animated Spider-Man
the
movie.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse, yeah.
And so, if you didn't notice at the very end or the very tail end of, I believe, the first one, that you saw all of the bodysuits, like the Rhino and all that stuff, so that when the very beginning of the second one, you still saw him fighting that, right? If I'm not
No.
mistaken.
The second one ends with him swinging the manhole cover at Rhino.
And I'm so mad you don't see the fight.
Okay.
Yeah.
because
I
that's
am too.
after Gwen
Sorry.
Stacy died.
No, you're absolutely right.
Spoiler
okay,
alert.
so, yeah, that was
I
like
think it's a
okay,
little late.
the
Yeah.
end credit scene. The end credit scene.
Darth
of the
Vader's
second
Luke's
one.
father. Spoiler alert.
The end credit scene of the second one, you saw all of like the 8
Sinister Six.
the
suits.
Sinister Six. God
And
bless. I'm so doped.
Mr.
Um,
What was his name?
Negative?
No.
What are you talking about?
The guy who, and I think in this franchise was supposed to be assembling the Sinister Six, is like
Yes.
Mr. Fierce.
Yes. Yes.
Maybe.
Yeah,
like,
no,
y-
and so that
you
that
don't
was
see his name unless you.
they
read
were
the credits.
actually like because that's the biggest enemy that Spider-Man was supposed to face was the Sinister Six,
Which
you
is
had
like Rhino, Scorpion,
all the animal ones
Electro?
essentially.
all
yeah.
Vulture,
all the animal
Doctor-
ones,
Doc
and like
Ock.
they were going with
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
they're going with like a very robotic version of almost all of those,
Oh.
which would have been great. And they were supposed to do a 2-part movie, where the next movie that was supposed to come out was called Venom and Carnage.
Ugh.
Yeah, it was supposed to be called Venom and Carnage, where he was supposed to go against both
Venom and Carnage.
Venom and Carnage, right? And he was supposed to like either take hold of Venom's and fight against Carnage to not only face the Sinister Six as Venom and take out that like a good portion of the franchise with him in the Venom suit,
Yeah.
and then realize what this is doing to him, and then take it off, and then fight off the rest. Like, because that was supposed to be the thing, is that he was supposed to lose New York. Like, he was actually there was supposed to be a movie where it was just the Sinister Six. They were supposed to finally win. Like, there was supposed to be a full villain movie, defeat Spider-Man, and then kick him out. And then he was supposed to have a Venom and Carnage movie right after that, and then come back and have Spider-Man 3. And then finally,
That would have
I
been
think Green
sick.
Goblin's part
Yeah.
of it too.
Like, I think the reason it probably didn't go through is because of the Venom. Like, the bad guy.
No, the reason it
No,
didn't go
it's
through is
'cause-
Sony didn't have enough money to do it.
That and,
And that's
they-
why-
Sony didn't have enough money.
I mean,
Sony didn't have the resources to
Yeah.
pull off an
No, I know.
MCU kind of.
to compete with the other actual MCU.
Yeah,
See-
they didn't have the resources to do.
I didn't like the bad guy in the second one, honestly.
Of the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yes, he was
Oh,
really
like,
obnoxious.
Electro?
Yeah,
They went
The
with a weird
Electro
version
and
of-
the other guy who
Is it
got
Electro?
in the
Because
suit.
there's
The-
Electro and then there's another.
Rhino.
Well,
No, there's another.
Rhino is at the very.
No.
very
There's
beginning.
another
No, but the
electric-based
same
villain
guy. He's like-
in Marvel that is very similar. There's two of them.
I kind of know what you're talking about, but the Electro they went with was like from the Ultimate verse,
Yeah.
like version, which I find weird because Electro's thing is he wants to become as close to pure energy as possible, and that one essentially was.
Yeah.
I just didn't like the opening scene. I think that's what it was. Like
I don't
where
remember
he's
what it was.
fighting. It's like the bald guy. That's the
I
guy
know what you're talking
don't
about. It's
like.
the one. It's when he saves Electro or something, like
Yeah,
Electro's
the very
character at the beginning, and he's
Oh,
like,
I know you're talking. Yeah,
And
it's
that's
Paul
what- that's
Giamatti
yeah, that's
played
when
him.
he becomes.
Yeah.
I don't know who that
obsessed
guy's supposed to
with-
be. Oh, the guy, it's Rhino.
Yeah, the Rhino dude played that. Yeah, I didn't like him.
See,
I
I
what
think it kind of
this
threw
one-
the vibe off a little bit
Yeah,
with him being in it. I mean, not saying he's not a good actor. Just saying, like,
But that, yeah,
I think he should have.
I've
played
heard a
differently.
different name for that character though.
Yeah, is one of his. I believe it's Peter Parker of 616. Which
There's okay. What I would love
There's
even
a lot
more
of
than the
Peter
mechanical
Parkers.
ones is like animal mutated, like infused Scorpion and Rhino and Green
well,
Goblin.
Rhinos has always been a suit.
Yeah, but it's still a big motherfucker.
No,
in some
I
of
know what
them.
you're saying, but like his character development is that he's stuck in the suit.
Yeah.
Well, the campaigner parents want
It was just a war machine he hopped in and out of.
See, but I think that if they wanted to go away from the comics
Yeah.
and make it like
Make it
they
their
were
own.
mutated, that would be fucking awesome. Like
That
the
would be
Scorpion encounter would be phenomenal.
You talking about Aftershock?
Yeah, they could have
What?
done that. They could have had like several different
Maybe.
people and like infuse them, and then they train.
Even better,
And like each one
like-
has to get
No.
training in order to go fight him.
Norman Osborn, as like the Green Goblin alter ego, starts making mutated villains to fight Spider-Man.
Hmm.
That would be
That-
cool.
that would
like
be pretty
like
sick.
so Oscorp like makes the Scorpion, makes the Rhino.
Yeah.
Like, that would be very interesting. So they'd also be your animal mutated things.
Yeah.
But they would also be weapons of the Green Goblin, and then like lead up to him. Eh.
So back to the topic about 40 minutes ago.
And Spider-Man did snap Gwen Stacy's neck.
Yep.
What?
Yep.
That's how she died.
What are you talking about?
When Gwen Stacy dies,
Yeah.
Peter Parker broke her neck.
Not,
Yeah.
not busted her head.
Yeah,
That's the
catching
one.
her.
That's the one.
Yeah, I
thing
know.
That's the one thing that
Yeah.
irritated me about the Amazing Spider-Man is that
That's
She
how it
didn't-
happens in the comics, though.
bust her head.
No, she snapped.
She
her
didn't
neck.
bust
yeah,
her,
no,
she
you're
didn't bust her
absolutely
head. it
And that's what I'm
snapped
saying.
her.
That's what I'm saying. Like he caught her, and that's why he then went after the fact and got rid of added the elasticity to his web sling because he didn't have that previous.
Hindsight's 2020.
Because that was like the main thing of
yeah,
why.
he was trying to improve it slowly. I mean,
Yeah, and so then like that was the very first next thing that he did was create it, give it more elasticity to it, so that if he ever catch somebody again, it would
Rip.
snap their neck.
See,
She wasn't meant to like smack her head on the concrete, then bleed out and die from a brain whatevers. He's supposed to just.
So I have different grievances with all of the Spider-Man movies, in that I like what they did with the first set with Tobey Maguire because they actually made him have the web coming from him. They had
But none of the comic books have that, though.
None of the comic books.
none of them did.
Peter Parker's a genius in all of them.
Well, okay.
Well, yeah, but-
and he
were
builds
some,
it.
There were some offshoots where he was born that way.
No, there's offshoots in which he's part spider. Like when he
Yeah,
turns,
they're
he turns into a spider.
like where he actually has like
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's some very creepy ones. There's also a werewolf one.
yeah. So there are plenty of
Okay.
offshoots.
Oh, I thought that was part
You
of like
get
some
bit
of
by
it.
a
See,
spider,
like, but
you turn into a
like
werewolf.
it irritates me
in
that
the original 616 universe of the original, like what they all go by, the 616. He never ever was able to do it naturally.
that's weird.
The only thing he was able to do was just climb walls.
Yeah, that's the thing that like
And
irritated me was like
Spidey
Very
sense.
incredibly strong,
Spidey
like
sense.
strong enough to punch the Hulk into the space.
There's
Like-
several where he catches the Hulk's punch.
Yes, there's like he's.
well, that's the
supposed
thing that
to
like has
match.
irritated me so far is that they haven't shown his
No,
strength.
They never
At all.
have.
They haven't even shown him like do the classic like car catch.
No.
They've,
That's
they've
in, like,
shown him
every
have
Spider-Man
strength.
movie.
Like,
Yeah.
But they haven't like where he pulls the boat back together. I heard a thing where actually he ripped like pectoral muscles doing that scene, pulling it back together. Like he ripped through his chest, like a bunch of
Did
different.
they strap him
muscles
to
in
a
his
real
pecs.
boat falling apart?
No, but they had to actually get him pulling shit.
Yeah, they had to have
Yeah,
like actual
and,
resistance.
And the same thing with
So
Chris
the
Evans
actor
in the
actually
scene
did that?
in the
Yeah.
scene with
Yeah.
Yeah, he pulled the boat back together.
Chris Evans in Winter Soldier when he's
Mhm.
pulling the helicopter back towards the pad. He fucked up his in his arm doing that.
Is that why he's not like as bulky in the next movies?
I don't
Or
know.
they don't
I,
show-
I just
He
like
was
they fucked each other.
jacked in that film.
Well, also on top
His
of that.
bicep was like as big as my head.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
He's a
I
fucking
mean,
monster.
Also,
He's always been huge.
the
Yeah, I know,
the Superman diet that they go on is so it destroys you, like because they eat 5 meals a day.
No, you have to eat like some ridiculous amount of calories to keep up that type of muscle.
You have to eat 5 meals a day and like work out for 3 hours straight.
Isn't it like it's like a 12,000 calorie diet? It's
it's
fucking
Yes,
ridiculous.
like that's what I'm saying.
And
like,
that's what and people
as like a
walk
light-
around trying to sell you that crap on YouTube. Like, you want to know how to look like Thor? Like,
yeah, that's the thing is that like
Eat a shit ton of food.
don't have a job.
Yeah.
Like,
like for
It's really
breakfast-
hard. It
like for
really is.
breakfast,
Like going to the gym,
like,
trying to go to
like
the
an
gym.
average breakfast for the Superman diet is a full bowl of oatmeal, 8 eggs, and like 3 pieces of toast.
Yeah, like
and
that.
then for
wouldn't be able to do that.
your meal between breakfast and lunch is like a full bowl of spaghetti. And then between like lunch or between your brunch and your dinner,
Yeah.
yeah, then you have or your actual lunch. I guess that's what you would call it. Then you have like a I don't know, just something crazy. Like I've
That's-
actually
And they
seen
eat like
people-
they apparently they eat like a bunch of pancakes too.
oh yeah,
high carb,
no, and
high
like
carbs.
It's high carb, low fat, and then you can alternate because like they. I've read a bunch of stuff on it, like because if you
We
do
probably
high
all have
like
at some
high
point.
carb, low fat,
Yeah.
and then alternate to high fat, low carb, it does the same. It's very similar. It just kind of equalizes all your
Mhm.
enzymes and stuff, but it's really good for keeping weight down.
And like yeah, no,
It's insane.
most people that start the diet don't have like it takes them about 2 weeks for them to get their stomachs acclimated to eating that much food.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, and that's why they like debulk.
Yeah.
Like when you see them on press tours and stuff, and you're like, they don't look as big as they should. That's why.
Yeah.
They're not eating and working out as much.
Oh yeah, no, and it's
Like the guy who
but
plays
you see
Arrow,
results almost instantly. Like
The-
it's one of those
The
things.
guy who plays Arrow,
Stephen Amell.
yeah, he has to have a 2-week notice if they're gonna do a shirtless scene for him. Like in the thing,
That's
that he
awesome.
has to like do extra workouts and stuff.
Yeah, because you have to get your muscles really tense up. So he probably works out right before they do this.
Yeah,
No,
I was gonna say they do
absolutely. That's what I was like. I was
They-
like, these guys have to like work out because you always look bigger when you're like pumped.
Yeah.
Time to pump
You up?
So
We're
Anyway.
way past your marker, aren't we?
Yeah, we have to
an
be.
hour and 29.
That always happens.
Anyway, so yeah, never showed
Especially
Spider-Man's
since I joined back in
strength
the fray.
because isn't it like supposedly he has like the strength of like the proportional strength of a spider?
Yeah,
supposedly
Yes.
like same,
which is like
yeah.
1,000 times their body weight or
It's
something.
Yes.
fucking insane.
Yes.
Yeah, and I just want because like everybody's like Spider-Man's such a shit hero.
Yeah,
like,
no, they're like he would be useless outside of a
Yeah,
city. I'm like,
and, like,
no.
all the people that didn't know like don't know the comics, they just see the movie stuff.
Yeah,
They're like Spider-Man's such a shit superhero, and I'm like,
he was always my
are you
favorite
out
as a
of your
kid.
fucking mind?
Like, because
I loved him.
Like,
He's always my
Spider-Man's
favorite.
that's the one
the
thing that,
superhero.
that's what really irritated me about like the train scene where he tries to catch the train.
Yeah,
It's like he should have been able to do that more.
But that was
efficiently.
such an emotional scene though,
it was really good.
because that's the
I
scene
mean,
where
but he
all
couldn't
the
slow it
people
down,
are like, we won't tell.
Like we
The-
know who you are.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
like,
and that
we
was-
won't tell your secret. That was like
no, I mean,
that was real
granted, that was a
touching.
really good scene,
was.
but like, it just really irritated me because he should have been able to do way more. Like his web should have
Well,
been a lot stronger if he
okay.
would have. And not
Okay.
only that,
But you gotta count like a box car weighs how many tons, and
I
there
mean,
was probably 20 box cars.
but also, like, I'm sorry, you could easily have taken your web and like thrown each car off individually and slowed each one down.
If you took the
individually.
time to unclasp all of them.
But he didn't have that time because the bridge was out.
Valid.
And
I
each
think-
time you
I
take
get
off
what
a
you're
car,
saying.
it's
Yeah.
going to get faster.
Well, see, but like you'd have to go into the
Wow.
math of how much a train weighs, plus the people on it, plus like to the proportion of what he like how much he
Yeah,
weighs.
I get
Which
what
I
you're
think would be
saying.
close
like,
to
it should
his
have been
threshold.
easier, but I think they did a quicker, good version because you'd lose if it was easy for him. You never would have got that.
Valid. I mean, great.
That
The
people,
scene that
like,
followed
I'm-
after the fact was
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's just that's always been like the trope for Spider-Man is that he couldn't handle, and
I
that's
feel like
why
they try to make solo movies for some of the most like in-depth characters without like
know.
making
them in depth,
If
Yeah.
we had the budget, I'd fucking do it in a heartbeat.
right.
or like
Or if they had a very like a good
TV show. That's exactly what I was going to say.
like the type of money they throw into The Walking Dead. If
This
they
is
were to do
supposedly
it,
like Rick
throw that
Grimes
into
last
like
season, this coming season.
an
That's
actual
what I heard. He
TV
was
show
gonna
of the
quit.
Spider-Man.
yeah,
like put Spider-Man on actual TV, and people would
I will
lose their
volunteer
mind
for
over
that.
stuff.
Like they're
Is
I'll
he
doing
be
seriously
I'll be
gonna quit?
Spider-Man.
like the
My
yeah,
middle name's Parker.
the guy that plays Rick Grimes.
Yeah, he's
I don't
quitting.
know who that is.
Yeah, in Walking Dead.
I
Like,
know
this next season is supposedly Rick Grimes' final season. Like the
Okay.
character.
I
His
mean,
final
I
season.
don't watch The Walking Dead.
So he's
Yeah,
going to
I-
die?
I guess.
Probably. That's how they get rid
They
of people on that
yeah.
show.
Like, he's
I
the
haven't watched like any of
whole,
season
like,
8.
basically
They may
reason.
give him. They may give him like a peaceful farewell because like Carl died and he wants an out kind of a thing. I can see them doing that, but more than likely he'll die.
Yeah, hopefully gruesomely.
Yeah, I would be totally
Which
down
is
with that.
which is weird now because they can no longer follow the books because the books Rick dies and Carl becomes the leader.
No, Maggie becomes a leader.
I think the groups kind of split or stay split, don't they?
I don't know. That and
Because she's the leader
Negan-
of Hilltop, like
yeah, that and Negan gets his throat slashed,
but
lives,
and I don't know what happens to him after that.
and then he's still alive as far as like the new comics.
Oh,
go.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
like,
right. He
he's
is still.
put
and
in
then
prison. He's like put in prison.
and Daryl isn't even in the comics
that's what
at
they
all.
were trying to
I was
do.
just saying, and Carol died a long time ago.
She died in one of the first few, like what should have died in the first few episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't. We are so
But-
distracted by things, movies. and
We're,
stuff.
But-
we
but-
get really
but-
distracted by like in-depth lore stuff.
Okay.
Yes.
So
I'll let it slide.
Go ahead, say it. You haven't said
yeah,
much.
go ahead because I was gonna say something else about lore.
Oh, okay. Well, anyways, like the TV show is like trying to pursue like a life of normal circumstances. So they're creating like a jail, and that's what they're trying to do.
So they're trying to do Woodbury, because that worked out so well in season 4. or
Oh,
whatever.
I was totally not thinking of that Woodbury.
I don't know another Woodbury.
There's like
nut.
a TV show.
Isn't that
Oh,
Brickleberry?
see,
Oh,
that's Brickleberry,
Brickleberry.
which is really funny. Which see,
Sorry.
you said Woodbury.
I know,
My
I know,
mind
I know.
went wood, penis, berry, nut. So I was like testicles. Anyway,
My bad.
so
Wait.
what thing? Like you said that like you want Spider-Man like TV show.
Yeah.
The thing is, I think that the studios behind Barry Wood,
No.
Fuck the Earth.
No. Wouldn't that just be a vagina?
What?
A woodberry, because you bury.
Go take more pain pills
um,
because you're
done.
hurting
no,
me.
see, I think that DC makes better shows.
Yes.
Marvel makes way better movies because the Marvel shows I have not liked. Iron Fist, Jessica Jones.
Punisher was good.
Oh, Punisher was
I
absolutely.
want to watch
Oh
Punisher, but I
my
haven't.
gosh.
And Daredevil apparently was good too.
No,
Didn't watch that one.
no.
Mm.
Daredevil. The only reason Daredevil was good because of Kingpin. I
don't
probably
know.
Which
most
is a
controvers-
Spider-Man villain.
Daredevil is a Spider-Man.
No,
universe thing.
Kingpin.
Yeah, I know, but Daredevil's with Spider-Man. and some
Yeah,
of the stuff.
Daredevil. They're both in the.
No,
same.
they're in Marvel. They're in the same city. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like,
Oh, Kingpin was also part of the very first Daredevil movie. Anyways, but
yeah, he was.
seriously, the Daredevil, the TV show Daredevil, he is so boring. He like I could not grasp.
It's a pretty good.
I couldn't
cover
get
identity.
into it. I really couldn't.
He's
it was
like
it was
I tried
bad.
so hard, and I got into the second season, and the Kingpin had just had basically gone off
Yeah.
and I kid you not, the greatest build up for a villain ever is the Daredevil villain Kingpin. I fell in love with him before I even cared about Daredevil.
Yep.
Seriously, if you want to watch a good villain,
It makes you like the bad guys.
I love
versus-
good villains.
do you know the guy that? Okay, so in Men in Black, the very first one,
They're making
Uh,
a new one.
Are they?
Chris Hemsworth and
when-
the girl
when
who
the-
plays Valkyrie in
Oh, they
Ragnarok.
replaced
Okay,
that with
anyways.
the girl.
Okay.
so
So it's not the
They're-
men
they're new
in black.
characters.
let's see.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
When the alien comes down, the insect alien comes down and takes the
The woman.
not the woman, the main, like the insect guy. I'm trying to remember, like
The guy who plays in CSI.
Yep.
Don't know who you're talking about.
Can you look?
Okay.
It just anyway.
in the movie, it's the guy the bug possesses.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha.
water. Yeah. Whatever.
Gotcha.
That guy. He plays the Kingpin, and it's phenomenal. It's so good.
Gotcha.
Like yeah, he's the guy that shoots his head off in Full Metal Jacket.
Never watched that either.
Oh, yep, that's him.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh.
That was a glorious scene.
We are so. Like,
I want to talk about one thing real quick, and then I'm going to read this last one, and then we should end. Or
Okay.
We'll leave it on this very, very thought-provoking one.
Okay.
Well, I
Cliffhanger.
have another one that I kind of want to address after that. Anyway, but I
never
think
end.
there's 2 video games that would make fan-fucking-tastic movies if they dove really deep into the lore.
Mhm.
I'll give you a few guesses as to which ones I'm talking about.
Now,
Yes, like guess.
video games. Halo.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't they already have
And then
some?
probably Destiny because
Yes.
you've been doing a lot of that.
Yes.
Wait, I thought they had some Halo movies.
No.
They
They
don't?
they
Have
had well they had a
Yes,
they
they
had
do.
a they had
Yes,
a
they do.
no they had a series
Okay.
that came out prior to Halo 4.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, because that was their big. They were trying to.
I've
push
seen
the
it,
new
and it was pretty
Spartans
crappy.
No,
beginning.
but they do
no.
have.
I'm talking about Forward Unto Dawn. The Forward Unto Dawn series. It
Yeah.
was a multiple part series they were trying to do for Halo 4
I think it was
Which
explaining
delve in-
character backgrounds of the new
of
Spartans.
Lasky.
Yeah.
Of Captain
Oh,
Lasky.
yeah, I did watch
Yeah.
those. Those were good.
Those were really good.
I didn't really get into them.
It
The
was-
ones
oh, I
at
loved
the-
it.
at the training ground.
Yeah.
Like, boot camp.
I just
When
really
the
didn't-
when the Covenant like
Yeah.
invaded the base, that was awesome. The fight with
I've
the
only
elite.
seen one of them, so I might have just got out of the.
Yeah, the first one's not
the
great,
loop
but the
or
rest of them
something.
are fantastic.
I
Like,
watched
there's a
the
fight
first
with
one.
there's a fight with the Hunter, which is amazing.
Yeah, they did a very good job. They even got the actual Warthog. There's someone who built one, and they got it from him and like actually used it.
And they
So it's
drove
a-
it.
Yeah, it's like the driving
Yeah.
scenes are real.
Yeah,
And they got this dude who's actually like 7 some feet tall
this
to play
fucker.
the
He's some wrestler, but he's
Yeah.
fucking
to
massive.
play the Master Chief.
Okay.
So like
Maybe
it's,
I'll look into
it's
this.
all it's as realistic as they could make it without
And
using
all-
a
and the
lot
ani-
of CG.
And the CG
Okay.
for the aliens is actually really, really good.
Yeah, they do. Well,
For-
it's easier because Covenant armor tends to have a shine to it anyway.
Yeah, but
Like the
even like the
material.
skin, like they did the skin for the
Yeah.
jackals and
Ooh.
for the elites was
And
really good.
There's a scene where the elites, like their thing in Halo is that they have cloaks and the energy swords. There's a scene like they're hiding in the like
Locker. It was like
in
an
the
armory
school-
locker.
Yeah, like and there's like a cloaked elite, and they do such a great job like with that. Like the fact that he's standing in the middle of the room, but you still can't see him, and you don't know where he is.
It's so tense. Like it's movie quality tense.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of like a good tense scene in a movie that like got everybody like, oh fucking shit.
Nothing from Flatliners. That was a terrible
The
movie.
Messengers. The
Are we
Messengers.
talking about Kevin Bacon's Flatliners?
Got me.
There was
every
another.
time.
It was a
It's
remake.
a remake.
The movie Signs.
It's a remake.
I'd say the movie Signs is a good comparison for how tense it is.
I haven't seen it.
It's with I think it's the same guy that plays Johnny Cash plays Johnny Cash is the son, and it's where the aliens are like doing crop circles and shit, and like they end up coming to they're invading the planet, but it bases on this family and their farmhouse,
Okay.
and it's cannot think of the guy's name. Anyway,
But
there's a lot of super tense scenes where the daughter is in her room, and like they go to look under the door, and then just a hand pops out and like grabs back like the alien hand,
yeah.
and it's just like
I've
the
seen it.
whole
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
moment, like it's like 45 seconds leaning up to them looking under the door is like
Super intense.
is edge of your seat. Like
You
no
can't even
breath, like
describe
no
it.
breathing, just super tense. Like that whole movie is really tense, and it's great.
There's like a scary movie. There's more a horror movie. But it's based on. It's called The Messengers,
I've heard of
and
that.
yeah, it's really good. But
Is that the one with
Christian Stewart is in it?
Is that the one where they have
Oh,
like
that's why I
That's
watched
why I
it.
watched
he
it,
watched
the
but-
red X's on the door, or is that something different? That's The Village, isn't it?
I don't know.
There's some scary movie where they have like red X's on the door.
Nope, no, it's not that one.
And
It's not The Messenger.
what is The Messengers?
So The Messengers is like this family ends up going to a new location, buying a farm, and the farm.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Okay,
now. I know
okay.
what you're talking about.
And like, there's a scene where there's this toy that just like takes off.
Nope.
Nope.
Starts moving by itself and going towards the steps to the basement.
Mm.
And so like it stops like right at the very last top step, and the
Thinking about, I'm sorry to interrupt, but like
Yeah,
thinking about the trailer I remember seeing for this movie gives me chills.
yeah. So like she's walking slowly because she's trying to find her little brother, and that's his toy.
Mhm.
He's dead.
So spoiler. I'm just kidding.
I haven't seen it. I'm just,
So
Dude's dead, leave him.
she's walking up to the steps, and she like goes to grab the toy, and the toy moves and just falls
Yeah.
down the steps. And she like turns around, and her little brother's there, and like all of a sudden, all these hands just grab her
That's awesome.
oh,
and
that's-
just pull her down. the
Is
steps.
that's the movie where she's either in the barn or in one of the rooms,
Oh,
and,
yeah,
and the
in the
kids
barn.
and the kid's
Yes.
sitting there, and she's making the bed, and the legs show up under the bed when she flips the
Yep.
she flips the covers up to like how you'll fluff out a
Yeah.
thing to lay
Mhm.
it down.
Yeah, yeah.
She
yeah.
does that, and a pair of legs are under the under the sheet, and she doesn't see him
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
because she's
no.
looking at the
Oh,
kid.
there's another
and the,
scene.
the kid's like, what? And she looks over at the kid, and you see this like child like crawling up the walls behind her.
Uh-huh.
Whoa!
There's another scene in the
See,
barn.
I like scary movies. I don't like demonic movies.
Oh, have you ever watched any of the Insidious movies?
Nope.
I wouldn't recommend scary movies because I don't really like them, but Insidious is fantastic.
I mean, because
And I say that only because the storyline is amazing. Like all of them connect somehow. The Conjuring connects with it, Annabelle connects with it, and The Nun connects with it.
I saw Annabelle.
Haven't seen The Nun, not going to because fuck that.
Oh
movie.
my gosh,
Did
dude.
you see the trailer for that movie?
Oh, that
The
shit
one I
looks
kept
scary
skipping on YouTube
as
after
fudge.
5 seconds.
The one where
Oh my
So
so
god.
the trailer.
Come on.
So we went and saw some movie. We went and saw some movie in the theater, in the Regal Theater, the one in Harrisonburg, which isn't as great as Zeus.
Yeah.
But it was like 4 of us in the theater.
Surprising to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most Regals are fantastic, but
I
this
know.
one, for whatever reason, is like really shit.
The one in
Um,
Charlottesville is the best one.
Really good. And
One's a little
it,
extra.
so it's the nun,
a little
the nun that like it bases on, is like walking down this hallway with a lantern,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
and like
movie.
it looks like you see behind her like the nun standing there, just kind of like this nun in black, like just you can't see their face, she's just kind of standing there behind her, and she like turns around, and you think that nun's gonna like jump at you, and she's like hello, and as soon as she steps to the nun, another nun like rushes her from the left and pushes her against the wall. Fucking lost my mind. Like I actually like audibly
I didn't even realize
screamed.
it was another nun.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
too.
we're gonna
It's
have to
too.
rewatch
I'm
that.
gonna show you.
Too many nuns.
I'm
Oh
going to
my
show you it
gosh.
after the podcast because I will
Nope.
like it's. Anyway,
You have to. I have to be there.
Anyway.
Oh my gosh, please.
anyway,
This is why.
Destiny and Halo movies would be fantastic because the Halo lore or the Destiny lore is even worse than Halo lore, like in terms of how deep it goes. Like they have a full book that was written just for the sake of naming it in the games.
Yeah.
The Book of Sorrows,
Yeah.
that all Crota and all that.
There's
anyway,
multiple books actually.
the Book of Sorrows is only one. There's multiple.
No, but I think there's another book that released sometime about Forsaken or just before.
There's
'cause
one called there's one.
Mylan keeps referencing it.
There's
It might be an in-game book.
there's the man called Cade is a long one about Cade's story and the Exos.
I think it starts with an F.
I
It's
don't
like
know.
the book of something or like.
I don't know, but I know there's lore books in like the actual tab, the lore tab. But I'm saying like they actually wrote out a full story line in book for the Book of Sorrows and the Calcified Fragments in Destiny 1.
Yeah.
Huh.
Anyway, that would be a fantastic movie with all of that.
Yeah.
Because
That one's got a lot of like crazy lore too.
yeah, the latest DLC was fantastic, and like the lore even behind the boss.
There's
of
lore
the raid.
behind the lore behind the lore.
Yeah,
it's like it's
really-
crazy. In
You can
depth.
I don't even know.
you could spend like a full day just straight just
And
looking through all the lore.
They did a phenomenal thing by doing this because there's a certain point in history that nobody remembers like before, and it's like because the deal is like when they get awoken as guardians, they don't remember their past, and this is like several centuries after the Great Collapse, which I have an interesting theory on that.
Or the
like-
collapse.
Like yeah, well
Or
just
the-
like
or the-
just the,
the memory
time in
gap.
between.
Okay.
Because I'm like if nobody remembers, who's to say that it wasn't 100 years ago as opposed to 2000,
Yeah.
which I think would be a very interesting like idea or concept.
Well,
that
they
no
know
one looks
that.
at.
Well, they know that.
To
Well,
know-
because they have records.
Yeah, like
up
after
until the
first,
collapse.
after the first Guardian, like the first Guardian and stuff like that. But I'm saying like
I want to meet the first, unless the first Guardian's like been dead in some of the lore, like
I
they
think
talk
so.
about. What?
I think so.
But if the first Guardian like isn't dead, we have to meet them at some point.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very true. But like yeah, so there's this point at which like people don't remember past.
Huh.
Because you don't remember your history when you wake up, and then
So as time goes on, do you remember less of it?
no, you
I mean, because if you're
Okay,
forgetting,
so
and
do you
then
know any of the
learning something
backstory
new
behind
and then-
Destiny?
no, he doesn't.
No, I don't.
Okay, so what happened is this thing called the Traveler, big orb, like is located on Mars, and it ends up like
It doesn't.
the humans find it, and it ends up traveling to Earth, and it ends up making our solar system like all of the planet like Mercury and Venus become like garden worlds, and like all of these planets become habitable, and they set up bases on Titan and Mars and all of these places, and the Moon.
And then several alien races who once got to use the Traveler who
No,
won it.
no, one of them.
Okay.
Cabal won it for its power.
The Fallen used
Fallen,
to have
Fallen used to have it as their own.
it, and the Hive feeds off of it kind
Yeah,
of a thing.
no,
this like
the
potential
Hive? The
movies,
Hive
right?
want to kill it
Oh.
because when they made the deal with the Worm Gods, the Traveler and the Leviathan. Leviathan was like a disciple of the Traveler. The Leviathan told them, no, you can't go any further to talk to these worm gods, because if you talk to them and make deals with them, they will be released, and that's not good.
Okay.
And the Hive were like, fuck you, we're going to go talk to these gods. And when they did, the Leviathan was killed and the Traveler was set free. Well, the worm gods were imprisoned by the Traveler. So, of course, they spread shit about the Traveler being a bad thing, so the Hive want revenge. That's why they want it.
Okay.
Anyway,
The
when the
misled
Traveler
flock.
came, it like had all these good things, and they started to build cities and walls and all this stuff. And then these races started invading our solar system because they wanted the Traveler. These huge wars were fought on planets, on Earth. It became there was one city left on Earth, this huge city in Russia. And
That's just,
and when the Traveler went dormant, like it kind of, they say it when it gave its last breath, when it went dormant, it released these things called ghosts, which are little like things, and they fly. And what they did is they flew around, and they basically resurrected people they thought were worthy to guard Earth, and they called them guardians. But when they resurrected these people, they had no memory of their past life. They were just resurrected as guardians, and they were like, "What the fuck am I doing here? Like, who am I?"
and what's weird is like these people, like some of them have been dead for centuries.
Yeah.
Aren't they rotten?
Yeah, but that's the
They
that's the
reanimate,
power.
like, they
That's
reanimate.
the
their
okay.
body.
Okay.
And now these guardians, they call them light bearers because like the Traveler's light gives them powers and stuff.
They resurrect Genghis Khan.
No, that's what I was like, what if Hitler's a guardian and no one? Because you wouldn't know. He wouldn't know. You just be like walking by and you just see a guy with a mustache, looks like the bar mustache, and be like, that's
And
weird.
like him and Genghis Khan and Hitler like meet up in a bar and be all like, "Hey, yo, cousin."
Well, they wouldn't know. Nobody knows.
You don't know your
I mean,
past.
what?
There's-
I mean,
I,
if you do something once,
I'm
aren't you more
sorry.
prone to do it again?
Then you're going into morals and philosophy and shit.
Well,
But
I
which
mean,
is
like-
a video game.
no,
I mean,
no,
like-
no, like so a
I think that
resurrected
gets reset when you
a
don't have any
resurrected-
memories.
a resurrected Hitler just runs into a Jew, stabs him, and be like, "Oh, I guess that's muscle memory."
Anyway,
Something in my subconscious.
they said that they say that they are beyond death because the Guardians, if they die, their
ghost
ghost
just-
resurrects them.
again, so they can just like they're.
But it's not
technically
like
immortal.
if they're resurrected again, they lose the memory from before. They'd be like, "What the fuck?" am I
So
doing
this is
here?"
like
Would you call
But
that
no.
a re-erection?
Yes.
Is this like the Green
Everything's
Lantern
extends
type deal?
I don't know anything about the Green Lantern.
I mean, like the Green Lantern, each one has a ring, and so you take the ring, you obtain the power.
No. It's not like if you hold the ghost, you have the power of the Guardian. The Guardians still have their powers. It's just that if the ghost isn't there, they
I mean,
can't be resurrected.
Can they ever die?
Yes,
if the ghost is
if the
killed.
ghost dies.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of the new DLC is that like one of the
Rip Cave.
main characters,
Uh-huh.
his ghost is killed in this huge fight, and
It's
then he ends
awesome.
up being shot and
Beautiful
dies.
animation.
It's phenomenal.
So if you were
if you want, I'll
shot-
show it to you afterwards.
If you were shot, you don't die unless the
you
ghost-
you die, quote unquote. You feel the pain, you die, but then
Uh-huh.
your ghost resurrects you.
again.
yeah.
yeah.
There's
Can
some
I have one?
Yeah,
there's like some pretty dark lore and stuff like
it's
mixed in.
insane. Like
the stuff
there's-
that
This
they're
is a
doing
movie,
with,
right?
no, it's a game.
It's a game?
It's two
He's
games.
saying it would make a good movie.
It would make a
that's what I was
fantastic
thinking.
movie.
I was like, oh man.
And they're both made by Bungie, so no surprise.
The Halo, yeah,
Yeah,
like
Halo
the Halo,
and
the makers of
Destiny.
Halo, with the first five
Original
Halo
three.
games.
No?
Five
I don't
Halo
know
games.
if
They
they
made
did-
5 Halo games, the original 3 trilogy,
Okay.
and then ODST. Well,
And-
Halo Wars, ODST, and Reach.
So how
Yeah,
do they get
fair
the
enough.
support in order to make a movie like that?
They'd have to pair with production companies. And
I-
They
Well,
have
see, the
done. They have
well, see,
done several live action Halo things.
Well, see, the
though.
thing is that,
Yeah.
that
That's
that baffles me is that people that make video games are basically making movies anyways.
playable
just-
movies.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, so the idea that they would have to do all of this stuff, no, the only thing they would actually have to do is get cameras and hire actors.
Yeah. See, that's the thing is like some of the cinematics for the new Forsaken for the DLC are so good. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to. We can show you the video.
I mean, you'd
of
still
the
need
fight we're
like
talking about,
you'd
but
still need people that have to have the
Yeah.
qualifications for that
Yeah.
specific thing. So you couldn't just run a movie. I don't think. Could you just make your own movie and just?
if the if I
Yeah.
mean the company could, yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah, you can make your own movie if you have enough money to make the movie.
Mhm.
You can make. If you
I,
have
I
enough,
would just thought that you were like if you got with a company in order to be like, hey, I'm gonna sponsor you. You have to do this, this, and this kind of thing. You have to show that you're actually making the movie. So you have to like.
But see, like
put
they have
together
enough.
this.
Usually, big video game companies like that are making enough money so that they could possibly do it all in house.
Yeah,
they would have to.
Yeah.
for sure.
And then just as long
It
as
would
you
just
put
be-
out enough like publicity and funding out
Mhm.
there, people will know that people will like. I want
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah,
that.
I would just thought,
Yeah.
you know, because
And I think it's mostly because why a lot of video games haven't gone to movie because the only ones I can think of are off
they
the top of my
tend to
head.
not do well.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed and World of Warcraft.
Well, see, the
And
thing
there's, there's a few more
well,
that
actually-
like from.
That I'm thinking about off the
Back
top of
in
my
the
head.
day.
World of
Yeah.
Warcraft was actually pretty cool.
I
But
like
they-
that
We'll say,
one.
see, the thing
But
is that
box office numbers are bad.
see, the thing is,
Okay.
the main reason that people have a problem with that is because people that don't know anything about World of Warcraft really like the movie. I love the movie; it was great.
And people
Yeah.
who
but
love
people
World
that
of
but people that
Warcraft,
have been playing Warcraft fucking hated it because
there was some lore breaking.
it was
thing
some
in it, right?
lore like controversy thing like intersection that happened that they didn't like at all, and is why
Then couldn't you easily like write it off as a?
Maybe when they do this stuff, maybe they should like invite people to give an opinion on how the scene should go.
Well, they
You
do.
know.
They don't tell me. They do.
they more than likely consult like devs of the game and like writers.
Yeah,
Like,
but see, the
without
thing
a
is,
then
doubt.
how did they mess up that part?
I don't
then?
know if it was a mess up or if they just did something.
There's
that people,
millions
There's
upon
probably
millions.
continuity
There's
error.
millions
Oh,
upon
okay.
millions of people, and somebody's got a bitch somewhere.
Well, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then the other hand, Assassin's Creed, which was just a bad movie.
yeah.
It was just not good. I had such high hopes for that movie.
I did.
I,
did
but it
I
was just
lost
not
it
good.
when they were saying like 85% of the film is outside of the animus, like in
Yeah.
present day.
And
I was
then-
like,
Then what's the point?
And then a lot
should've
of
been a
and then a lot of the
50-50.
stuff when they're speaking Spanish, there's no subtitles.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's also irritating. They've done
Most
that-
of the foreign stuff,
But
no
let's-
subtitles.
But
It's
let's
just
be
foreign.
real here. A lot of okay, I'm a little small tangent now. A lot of the movies nowadays, for some odd reason, don't add subtitles. A lot of movies nowadays.
I don't understand it.
And
It's like all in
it's be-
Spanish.
It's because of this whole multicultural thing where it's all like,
I mean, I
well,
still.
see, here's the thing, though. You go to any other country that watches American movies, they watch the original American movie with subtitles.
you're absolutely right.
You can find dubbed versions, but those usually don't do well.
No, like
Yeah.
like any of the Jackie Chan movies that are made in Japan, like
Yeah.
they suck.
Okay.
I hate dubbed.
I don't remember
Ugh.
if I watched
Dub,
it or if I
dubbed
wanted to.
live
weird.
action.
I don't think I watched it, but
I
I,
don't like
really
It's
wanted
hard
to watch
watch
The
it.
Foreigner.
It really is.
Yeah.
The one where his daughter gets kidnapped or something, or
not sure
dies in
about
an explosion or something.
Which
I don't
one?
know. The Foreigner with Jackie Chan.
Oh, it's such a good movie. I own it.
I haven't watched it. I need to.
Oh
You
yeah.
want to borrow it?
No, I can just find it online.
I
Be right.
have it here.
I don't have a DVD player.
Right there.
Well, I do at home. No, it doesn't have a
Oh, really?
optical drive.
What?
It's a gaming laptop. Doesn't need it. It's peripherals.
Oh yeah.
It has like a portable one, but I don't know where to put it.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
And the USB.
to close tonight for the final fucking time.
Yeah, only 45 minutes late.
Yeah. So the final thing we're talking about
Oh, yeah.
that we tried to talk
Oh my
about
god.
earlier.
Let's get off topic about how we got off topic about that.
So this is called the Fermi paradox. I don't know if you've heard about it.
you say
Let's
he's
okay.
Fermi?
Furby?
Fermi, F-E-R-M-I.
Furby, as in like little.
No.
Herbie.
Those things are fucking demonic, by
Herbie?
the way.
Yeah, they're all possessed. We know.
Let's say we have an anthill in the middle of the
90s toys.
Shut the fuck up. Let's say we have an anthill in the middle of the forest, and right next to the anthill, we're building a 10-lane superhighway. The question is, would the ants be able to understand what a 10-lane superhighway is? Would the ants be able to understand the technology and the intentions of the beings building the highway next to them? So, it's not that we can't pick up the signals from Planet X using our technology. It's that we can't even comprehend what the beings from Planet X are or what they're trying to do. So, it's so beyond us that even if we really wanted to, if they wanted to enlighten us, it would be like trying to teach an ant about the internet. When Pizarro made his way into Peru, did he stop for a while at an anthill to try to communicate? Was he magnanimous, trying to help the ants in the anthill? And did he become hostile and slow his original mission down in order to smash the anthill apart? Or was the anthill of complete and utter and eternal irrelevance to Pizarro? That might be our situation.
And then he spread diseases and killed like
That's not.
two-thirds of...
Shut up. That's not about it.
Wait. So
So what they're saying is, and I've used this analogy before with talking to other people, about what if we're not intelligent or enlightened enough to be able to comprehend the intentions or even existence of other beings. Like, think about it this way. An earthworm doesn't pay any mind to humans. They go about their day, and the only interactions they have with us are things that we do to them, but they don't recognize it as, oh, a human's doing this for me or to me. They just see it as their world.
A bug's life was a lie.
So they don't have the intelligence
okay.
to perceive and comprehend us and our actions.
Okay.
What if that's our situation?
And there's a
What if
higher-
we're the earthworm?
There's a higher
There's
being above us.
There's
kind of
another
thing.
being somewhere, either on our planet,
And we can't
around our
communicate
planet, in
with
our
it.
solar system, in our universe, around us, that's influencing us or not influencing us, that we can't comprehend or see because we're not intelligent or enlightened enough.
Like
Okay,
a
well, then there's a-
fifth-dimensional
There's
being.
another. I mean, like because the second you had mentioned that, the very first thing that I thought of was about the ancient pyramids. Like,
aliens.
yeah, no. What if something similar is the case, that instead of them being a separate being, they're just a separate us in time, so that
It's also that, yeah.
yeah,
There's
so
that
that
theory.
like we just can't
Interstellar.
not fathom. Yeah, we just can't fathom what they were even thinking back
Yeah.
then. Like
Pizza.
they could have been way beyond our
They were thinking
intelligence.
about
It,
pizza.
they kind of touch on that in the Assassin's
Bacon
Creed
wrapped
storyline,
deep dish.
where the precursors,
precursors?
the precursor civilization,
Yeah.
that's super advanced, and then
Also in
something
Halo, kind
happens.
of. Forerunners.
Yeah, and the Halo, the Forerunners, who are almost human.
Yeah,
They're basically humans, but in the future, but
Yeah.
in the present.
yeah.
But in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Like what the fuck? Yeah,
The
that's
fool.
and then so there's that one.
No, I mean, and that's a very plausible.
That kind of also ties in with like what was it?
And
whoever-
see, I'm guessing with that line of thinking, that's probably like if you're not a religious person, that's probably what drives all religion is because they think that since the earthworm doesn't pay mind to us, and they would you would imagine that their line of thinking would then go further onto that. What if there is something that like we don't pay mind to, and so like forced by nature, we try to pay mind to something that is greater than us.
That's kind of my take on religion is that I don't practice a religion. Like I'm not a part of Christianity or Hinduism. I just believe that there is something bigger than us that we can't even start to comprehend. Because there are powers at work. We have no fucking clue how we got here.
Yeah.
We just know that we're here. We have technology. We're doing things.
Yeah.
We don't know how we got here. So
and we're all arguing about pointless.
yeah, and we're
things,
all
like-
we're all arguing about what this does that and this is who and that and
Kavanaugh's
we're
a
here because
rapist.
him
Kavanaugh's not a rapist.
and like ribs and woman and man and elephant man with head
I
and
would love to, but no.
I know, right?
and there's like and that's why I think a lot of religion, because there's so many similarities, is that they're all right.
Mm.
Yeah.
And that there's something bigger than us that has to do with our existence and our way of life
I mean, that's why
that we
the
don't
second,
understand.
That's why the second we're born, we're searching for something greater.
Exactly.
We're searching for
Like
purpose.
that hand
and
that smacked you on
like-
the butt because you weren't
like,
crying.
the ultimate question is, what is the reason we are here?
Yeah. And that's it. That's a lot. That's a common theme that comes up in my mind whenever I watch ghost shows. And it's that
Nope.
what if ghosts and spirits and demons and angels aren't these religious symbols? They correlate with religion because we find similarities in the religion. But
Like,
what if
that's what we tied? Like
that's what
Bas-
we
attribute to
yeah, that's what I
their
was looking for, attribute.
existence.
Yeah.
It's like some type of religion.
Exactly.
Like
Yes.
the Nordics believing in like like Thor and Odin.
gods. Yeah, exactly. And what if they're not these religious, people, pre-people, and that kind of thing?
Post people.
What if they are other entities entirely, other species
like Greg
that-
from accounting.
that
from State Farm.
that could be
wearing, Jake?
just so
Dragons.
intelligent that they can form
Sounds
intelligent
pretty-
responses to make us think that they were human.
Yeah.
And it's like these demons that are cast out by exorcisms and that kind of thing. What if it's not a religious, God have power over thee, begone malicious spirits?
So that's like
What if it's just like because we are saying these words in a certain way, somehow it makes that creature scared or pisses it off or whatever to make it leave?
And
And
it just goes, yeah, I'm gonna go home and eat.
yeah, and there's a really cool the guy that does creepypasta, or is someone I think it's creepypasta.
Is that the dude who does the horror?
Yes, did one called Amorphous,
Ah.
which is really crazy.
Jack the Killer. I hate
Don't
that picture.
why'd you fucking remind me?
Ah.
of that?
I
Gosh,
don't
I
know
hate
what
that.
I don't know
What
what
is
you're
it?
talking about.
Oh,
Nev-
it's a picture.
Jeff the Killer.
It's a picture.
Never look
The
it up.
story-
Never listen
Now
to
I'm
it.
going to look it up.
Good.
What?
It's
This is
hor-
not good.
Basically, it's a guy who freaked out, cut out his eyelids, cut a smile into his face, and bleached his face, and then goes around and kills people. But when he does, he always says, "Go to sleep." Right before he kills them, he'll randomly show up in people's houses, in warehouses, and kill people. It's the creepiest fucking thing you'll ever see in your life. And they show a bunch of these pictures of what Jeff the Killer looked like, and like it's just like
like artist rendering.
artist stuff. And one of them is actually the like over obsessed girlfriend meme. It's her, but they edit it as Jeff the Killer. It's really funny, but like they're
There's
horrifying.
one in particular that is absolutely disturbing.
Yeah,
and
and
I'm
then
gonna be thinking
it
about
will
that for
give you
hours now.
nightmares. And then there's one called The Rake, which is actually really fucked up too. It's Slenderman creepypasta.
Oh.
It also comes from a bunch of German lore stuff, but creepypasta did a thing on it too, where he kind of expands on it.
Killer.
There's like a weird reflection now over in that window, and it's just.
Anyway,
My room. Stop. No, maybe.
anyway, the amorphous thing
I'm
he
on
talks
pain
about.
meds.
He
Maybe
talks
he's in the
about
closet.
these beings that are.
I mean, that's where
They're
I'd be.
called amorphous because they can take any shape. They don't really have a color. They're kind of just void of color.
Caleb's kinda
And they're
staring
always
up
there. They always will be. They always have been. They don't know death because they've always existed. And that's the thing is like that's what we attribute. They kind of say that that's what they attribute ghosts and demons to is amorphous because they don't know what death is. They don't know how like because they're so fascinated with humans because we die. They're so fascinated that they want to watch us die to try to figure it out. They either speed it along by doing stuff, by possessing people, or they just sit back quietly in the corner and watch us to try to figure out what death is because they have no clue. It's really
There's a-
interesting.
2-part Doctor Who episode. I guess 2 episodes on like absolutely the creepiest Doctor Who episodes I've ever seen, which is impressive because there's several that are like borderline disturbing. Anything with a weeping angel, it's very creepy.
Fuck all kinds of that, man.
But it's like this. They find this entity that is essentially the devil from all religion.
That's awesome.
And it's like this cosmic being thing that they end up fighting is very disturbing. Like people get possessed and start writing on themselves, and it's like, yeah, it's not fun.
It's just like thinking about like we don't know what we don't know.
That's a profound statement.
Yeah.
Like Betty.
I
Betty
love
White?
not knowing. You know, that's my
Like
favorite.
Betty White
feeling.
once said, "Whatever you do is what shall be."
Betty White's older than sliced bread.
Betty White will outlive us all.
Yeah, hopefully.
I can.
That woman's a goddess.
I can fix that.
All I know is that when she dies, if she dies, the only song I will sing is "Thank You for Being a Friend."
That or from the window to the wall. Was it
The
from
coffee shop version.
what is it? The proposal?
Driving
What is it
down
called?
the road and back again.
It's the proposal.
Is the proposal?
With
Yeah.
Ryan
Artist
Reynolds,
true.
Sandra
Yeah,
Bullock,
where
and
she's in the
Betty White.
woods from
You're
the
a
window
pal and a confidant.
to the wall.
There
Yeah,
and back
yeah.
again by Bilbo
That's my
Baggins.
balls.
Yep.
Yeah, that's such
She's
a good
doing her,
movie.
like-
That's such a
And
fun
if you
morning
threw a
thing.
party and invited everyone you knew,
I'm just gonna turn Caleb down.
you would see the biggest gift would be for me, and the card attached would say,
Jack the Killer's
for
right
you.
behind you.
"Thank you for being a friend."
Everybody looks over
Anyway,
their shoulder. In
so
four
this
different
is
directions.
this is the last thing I'm reading, and then we're ending this shit.
You would see the biggest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say,
Thank you for being a friend.
"Thank you, guys." Good night.
Anyway,
Good night.
so we are currently living through what many biologists consider to be the 6th mass extinction that the world has ever seen. This is going to be. Why did you fucking show him that? It's a picture of Jeff the Killer that I will put in the pot.
What
Is it Jeff?
It's Jeff the Killer.
I don't
Okay.
understand
Yeah, it is
at
Jeff.
Halloween.
Just any of those.
Like what that means.
I will put a few pictures of Jeff the Killer in the podcast so you experience this. I will fade them in so they don't flash you in the face because that shit's
Flash.
scary.
Flash.
Why?
Anyway,
I'm telling you, dude. Oh, it's
That
awful.
one right there. That one right there, dude.
yeah,
one's
if
just-
if broad daylight, if you're in a public area with headphones, listen to them because they're actually really really good storytelling, but it's horrifying.
No.
It's hard to not
Which one?
look at though.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like it's so creepy and horrifying that you want to look at it.
That one's
It like
almost
pulls
dramatic.
you in a little
Okay,
bit.
hold on, real quick.
That one looks real. Like that looks like a
Which
real
one?
thing.
The one that's yellow tinged.
The one that's a little yellow tinged. That one actually looks like it's viable.
I think you see that one in the thing.
Yeah. Do you guys
don't
ever remember in
think
like
guys.
middle school in the library they had these like horror story books
Yeah.
that were like kind of like scribble drawn, illustrated?
The ones that I'd never bothered looking at.
Maybe.
Or
Did you
ever
ever read any
picking
of
up.
them?
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently they're making a Netflix series of those.
Oh
I'm
no.
so excited. Anyway,
Wait, what is it? I'm sorry.
it was this series of like it was like children's horror stories that weren't meant for anybody living
Huh.
because they are
That's
actually
bad, isn't it?
horrifying.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
reading them, I would cry because they were very, very scary.
I'm pretty psyched. What the literal?
Why would the fuck you should?
Oh my god, that looks like
That one
Chucky.
looks. That one looks
Almost like
real.
the Chucky scene.
Yeah, that one looks real.
Anyway, they're making it's either Netflix or just a series of them, and I'm really excited because they're horrifying.
I'm gonna go to UPS and ask them to print that picture off, and I'm gonna stick it in several hidden places in everybody's
Oh
room.
my
I hate
gosh.
you.
I think I'll laugh when I find it.
Anyway,
Dude, what if you were to able to end world hunger by turning all the soup, all the lakes into giant soup bowls?
Then people would die of dehydration. Congratulations.
No, no, no. You
Look,
can.
you just killed
You
know,
everyone.
fixed world hunger by creating world thirst.
Well, no, I mean like you have other means.
so
Genetically modified food. That's how you fix world hunger.
No,
genetically
you could,
modified
In
attack
a pill.
turtles.
You put it in the microwave. It expands. There's your food. Bam.
You
Okay.
could have like chicken noodle soup.
Murphy and O'Brien are in a boat in a lake,
Chicken noodle soup.
Yes.
and they're fishing,
Yes, they are.
and a bottle bumps into the side of their boat,
Are you
and
talking
they
about this?
they open the cork, and a genie pops out, and he says, "Huzzah! I will grant you any wish." And O'Brien says, "I wish this whole lake were Guinness." And Murphy says, "You idiot!" He goes, "What? Now we have to pee in the boat."
Because they're gonna drink the lake. Because it's beer.
Because they can't pee in Guinness.
We
it's
should
sacred.
lead this by saying they're Irish.
Aw.
Well, you could probably get that from Murphy and O'Brien.
What's his next wish?
They only got one wish.
Yeah,
Why only one wish?
It's an
always
Irish
3
genie.
wishes.
It's an Irish genie.
So wait. They only have one
Racist.
wish.
Yes, because it's an Irish genie.
It's fucking
But like,
irrelevant.
but
The
if
joke's
they,
over.
The joke's
No, if
done.
they had
No,
three
there
wishes,
should have been
I would
It's
three
one
want-
wish. He said,
wishes.
"I will grant you any wish." Any one wish.
It specifies one
Aw.
wish.
He could have
Okay.
wished for a
You
bathroom.
stoner.
But then they wouldn't have needed it because they didn't have Guinness.
It's-
Oh
Not
my
yet.
god. Okay.
But like then you would just
Jeff the
quickly
Killer.
quickly paddle boat to the very end. Like you quickly paddle boat to the thing, pee on the whatever, and then drink.
What if they just pee on one side of the boat and just drink on the other?
What if they just pee in each other's mouths?
Then they won't have room for the Guinness.
What if they just pee in the genie's lamp? That's what I would do.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh my god. You're all gonna give me an aneurysm.
Yay.
Yay.
Well,
Yay for
I think
popping
I
a brain
had
blood
an
vessel.
aneurysm.
Okay.
You killed
Anyway,
the flippiest jab I
so-
ever knew.
Now he's saying my catchphrase. So, anyways,
this is going to be an interesting puzzle for the species that comes after us. So, it wasn't until around the year 1800 that the humanity population reached 1 billion after thousands and thousands of years. In the 215 years since, the world population has increased to 7.2 billion. That exponential growth has a very large and long-lasting negative effect on our planet. So basically, they're saying that humans, we are the mass extinction. We are going to kill our planet.
that's fine.
Like, think about that. Like, we've been trying to figure out like what causes these huge events and what's happening. Like, how can
And
we
this
stop
is
the
how the
apocalypse? And
world
we are the
ends.
apocalypse.
I mean,
Like,
doesn't-
that's such a cool like twist on
But-
the
but-
thought process of it.
but
That is pretty cool. It's like, this is how the world ends. Not with a bang.
But
not
with
with fire.
the biggest, blackest dick.
It's like,
no.
but
Well,
with this child being
there
born.
is a number out there that says that like
You've doomed us all.
we're not overpopulated.
Just kill every
yet.
child
Yeah, but we're going to be.
from now on.
Like you
They're,
can
they're looking at
as
like,
of today, I think I forget. You could give everybody on the planet a half acre of land and a house to go on top of it in some portion of the United States. Like I don't know if it's like a larger portion or a smaller portion, but I know you can. We're nowhere near like max land capacity.
Yeah,
And
it's just
then-
that because
We just built
it's,
sky
it's just the
cities.
population is so concentrated in so many areas.
Yeah.
That-
Yeah,
that's
and,
the
and
problem.
usually it's just a high trade areas.
Yeah.
And then
What's weird is like the earth sags under cities. Like think about that. That's
Yeah.
weird. Like the crust is actually like flexed down like where New York City is because of the weight, the extra weight of like billions upon billions of tons of steel and
That's interesting.
I didn't know that.
There's also under like mantle oceans.
I didn't know
now
that.
they're now proving that.
I did know that.
Like
mantle-
I mean,
aqueous.
that would make
It's
sense.
apparently water in a state that we don't yet know, but it's like whereas like they always told you that the mantle was like this magma like
Yeah.
substance.
It's
and
very,
there's
very viscous,
it's
kind of like
Water.
jelly.
Water.
but no like
They're like this is what they're saying before. It
Okay.
was like a very viscous, like, what's it called?
magma
No, the food.
syrup.
No, No, what's it called? Fuck,
Jelly.
molasses. Almost like
okay.
a molasses kind of
Oh, I was
substance.
like, I have.
It's late,
no
we're all
idea.
just kinda brain dead.
Potatoes and
Um,
molasses.
It's almost like a molasses, very viscous, kind of thick.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it's
But
like-
now
it's like
they're figuring out that it's very,
they
very
drilled
like,
some ridiculous distance down, like past the crust into the mantle, and like pulled up this like quartz or of something, and
Yeah.
it had water in it, like and it's like something aqueous, like aqueous minerals is what
Hmm.
like they're calling it, but they believe that there's actually like pockets where like the water, like the compression's so high that the water gets squeezed out of like quartz and crystal and stuff like that, and that there's actual pockets of some kind of water,
I bet that's like the cleanest water on the planet.
but it's probably not drinkable because the pressure and stuff. Like my thought is that they say water as you don't know it. I'm thinking room temperature, but solid water that isn't cold. Think about
So it
that.
has a different like.
I don't like that.
It's like in a different
Freezing.
brain.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Why does that?
So there's another
Room
state of
temperature water, that's a
'Cause-
solid.
Yeah, because pressure and like and heat. 'cause
So we
it's
were
super
all
hot down
lied
there.
to our whole lives.
What?
Pretty
Are you
much.
talking? What?
Water's a construct.
Because it can't exist under like that type of pressure. It shouldn't be fluid. Like it shouldn't be like regular H2O in
Yeah.
the ocean.
Mhm.
But with that heat, it can't be frozen like ice. Like I mean, I'm just
Yeah, but
I'm
like-
just theorizing this like as it being a
Surprisingly
solid.
enough, like water's the only thing scientists hasn't fully gotten a grasp on how complicated it is.
That and gravity.
That well,
Yeah.
but it's like one of those things where
Fuck gravity.
it's a construct.
But
So
you can't.
The Earth is flat.
Jeremiah.
did anybody see my post the other day?
The only thing
where
flat
it was-
earthers, the only thing flat earthers have to fear is fear itself.
yeah. Did you see my post the other day where like we should
About
have
the TV show.
we should have a reality
I think you just
TV
talked
show?
about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Reality TV show where flat earthers try to find the end of the world.
That would be so funny.
Is that not the Amazing Race?
Okay, so
We should probably be done.
yeah, I'm gonna close with a joke.
Spidey Rocks.
Okay.
The
All right, I'm
longish
down.
joke
I'm down.
That I told you the other day. The long one where he goes to get the snails.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Okay, so you gotta listen and pay attention because these are funny jokes.
Especially you, Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb.
Okay,
Dude, I'm okay.
Just
I'm
Listen.
as easy as you as much as you can. Pay attention. Okay, so this is a joke based in Ireland. So
I'm 80.
what?
You're not a pirate, Ireland.
Anyway, Irish people are pirates apparently.
That's so racist.
Anyway,
They're drunks.
so
What's the difference?
Rum.
Murphy's wife has been taking French cooking lessons.
Murphy's Law.
Shut the fuck up.
You had one
sorry.
job.
I was
You had
thinking
one
raped.
job.
You know,
So
Murphy's wife is raped.
Okay, see, at least I'm not
I'm
that.
just gonna stop recording.
At least I'm not that. Go on.
You have to at least
All right,
finish
I'm
the joke.
listening. I'm listening.
Murphy's wife has been taking French cooking lessons. So she says, all right, tonight I'm going to make dinner. I want you to go down to the store, and I want you to get a bunch of those escargot things. Fresh ones, big ones. Nice. And get a nice skinny loaf of fresh bread, French bread, and a bottle of French wine. And
Well,
Oh.
wait, they are French people, right?
No,
When
they're
they just-
Irish.
they're Irish.
Okay, okay.
She's
okay.
been learning French
Yeah,
cooking
yeah,
and
she-
wants
Got
to
it.
test it.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. Got it.
So
Oh,
she
like, that's
says,
just
I
called
want you
food.
back by 5 because I'm going to have dinner on the table by 6.
Okay.
So he leaves, and this is 4 o'clock when she tells him this. So he leaves, and he's walking to the store, and he suffers from something called Irish constipation, or alcoholic constipation. He can never pass a bar room. So he's walking past this bar, and he hears, joy and fun being had inside. So he walks in, and he sees his friend O'Brien, and he sits down at the bar, and he starts talking, and there's these 2 guys sitting at the bar. And one of them goes, where in Ireland are you from? Or where are you from? And he goes, well, I'm from Ireland. And he goes, no way. I'm from Ireland too. And he goes, let me buy you a Guinness. So he buys him a Guinness, and he goes, well, where in Ireland are you from? And he goes, I'm from County Cork. He goes, I'm from County Cork. He goes, let me buy you a Guinness. So they're buying each other Guinness. And he goes, well, where in County Cork are you from? I'm from Cork City. I'm from Cork City. Let me buy you a Bushmills whiskey. So he buys him a Bushmills whiskey. And he says, well, where in Cork City are you from? Graham Street. I was born and raised on Graham Street. Let me buy you a Bushmills whiskey. So they're buying each other Guinness and whiskey, and they're laughing. And Murphy goes, he looks at the bartender and says, what the hell is going on? And he says, oh, don't worry about them. That's the Shaughnessy twins. They're drunk again. I'm going to have to sit on these jokes for a minute to let them kind of take it in.
It's not over. It's not over.
That's
So,
funny.
Oh.
he's
So it had nothing to do with the.
just listen. It's not
Okay.
done.
What about the food?
Shut the fuck up.
We got it. We got it.
So
We got it.
he's had a few beers and whiskeys himself. So he leaves the bar room half drunk, and it's almost 10 o'clock, and he's walking past this guy who's under the hood of his car, and he goes, what's happened? And the guy under the car says, piston broke. And Murphy goes, me too.
You pissed in a brook.
Pissed and broke, like drunk and no money.
Oh. Go on.
At
so
least
funny.
at least he laughed at it.
It's so funny.
Okay. So eventually he gets to the store, he gets the stuff, and he starts walking home. And he passes a church, and he stumbles up into the church, and he fumbles into a confessional. And this preacher sees this happen, and he thinks, maybe he needs spiritual help. So he goes in, and he closes the curtain, and he opens the little door, the little window, and he says, how can I help you, my son? And he says, have you got any paper on your side? So eventually he gets to his street, and he looks around the street corner, and he sees his wife on the front porch tapping her foot with her arms crossed. So he has an idea. He backs up, and he pours all of the snails out on the ground, and he walks up behind him and rounds the corner and goes, all right, boys, we're almost home. That's the end of the joke. And that's the end of the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye. Sorry for the longness.
I regret nothing.
I do. Bye.